not sorted yet. Yeah. Yeah, God knows how long, yeah. Yeah. Not turned on. Yeah, exactly. No, the party's been started with Peony Raiden in it yet. Choo choo, Thomas. Sat in the spectator seat. No, I don't need to yet. Why is he just... Oh, is he? Oh, he just does. I've just literally looked to see if he started the party and he hasn't. I've just literally looked to see if he started the party and he hasn't. Must be listening to my fucking stream. Cunt.
And bring you some action. I'll try my very best to answer people and respond to people as best I can. But yeah, let's have a good night's worth of racing. I'm not expecting much, just hopefully we can just score some decent
Expecting
points.
19
Gary
people
should be
because
with us a little bit later on.
and
And
the
as you
Ford
can see
just pulled
already,
out.
the McLarens are looking very, very strong around here, especially in Sector 1, which I think is where we're lacking, but we'll go from there and see what happens. So yeah, not in a rush to go out right now, and the guys have been the track sector fast. I think it's a little bit quicker than that. Ben does look decent. Matt, and give him a follow as well, the Gaming Welshman 5. So yeah, now I've done chatting, let's get the controller all set up. Let's get everything set up and ready to go. Matt's probably got my stream to one side ready. But yeah, let's see what we can do. Track temperature's ramping up, and I think that's why we're seeing these times coming to an end. Gotta keep hydrated. And again, I apologise if you are watching my stream and you watched last night's stream, I'm going to be snipping a lot because I'm not feeling 100%. So, yeah. Let's see what we can do here. Now, I noticed as well that I've made a slight mistake with my setup. So, yeah. Let's give this a go.
Gary Fiore. The 2-9.
Wrong way.
Right, dude. I'm going to join him in the party. Catch you later.
So I said I'll try and be a bit more.
Love you, buddy.
Obviously,
Night.
Myself and
Bye.
Gary tonight.
Bye. Love you.
So hopefully we don't have to hear my moaning.
Love you.
Love you,
Night.
baby.
Bye.
Night. Bye. Love you.
Right. Let's get
What
some
about Tony?
Bye, Tony.
on.
Night. Love you.
Said everything but I love you.
Paul Ricard, probably one of the most
Yeah, said
disgusting circuits
bye.
on the calendar
No,
on ACC.
he said everything but I love you.
Track that I don't
He never,
particularly like or enjoy.
he never tells me he loves me neither. Right, Tim.
He's just scared of his emotions.
No, he's pissed off you've not sent him a picture. It's alright, Tom, I got your back, mate. Right, catch you in a bit. PD!
Matthew!
Guess who's racing at Snap this weekend?
Jimmy.
Jimmy, the overpriced pillock.
In the Ginettas. So I'm going to point to laugh!
You wanna
You're
go?
not in your
You wanna
Parker
go
now.
and find him and say SimPlay Motorsport. Check it out. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And to PM Motorsport Games and Trains. Like and subscribe, yeah.
Game Emotion 5.
On Twitch. Follow.
You want to say? I know the guy who's going to commentate on your Racing Unleashed before you bailed. Peenarse.
Yeah.
I commentate with him on a Thursday night. You peenarse. Jimmy, if you're watching my personal stream, love you really. Have you seen who signed up as a reserve?
Joe.
Got his wheel back out, so I think he's the way he talked to me on the phone earlier is he's starting to get a bit fucked off of living in this temporary accommodation. Wants to kind of get back to a bit of normality. So he's just said to his mum, get the wheel from the garage and, let's go.
I wish I knew what normality was, but my normality might take forever. At least GT4s I don't have to worry about much. Safe setup. Boom. Let's go. I'm an Alpini, so I'm going to be safe. Alpini!
Joe
the
doing
Pini.
GT4s now. It's going to be a challenge.
What's that?
Joe probably doing GT4s now.
He can run number one in GT4s.
Yeah. That'll be a challenge
He's
for
the
me.
reigning champion.
That'll be a challenge indeed. I think today I've been having a good think. So I've been able I've been able to think a bit more clear today.
Yeah.
So we went for the scan. Everything's good. Strong, healthy heartbeat. 6 weeks pregnant. Brilliant. So that's took a lot of worry off of me because obviously I was worried about would it happen same as me and Beth with ectopic. She was worried about would it happen between her, what happened with her and Rob last year with their loss. No, everything's good. So this afternoon I've been thinking. I kind of really want to get Mercedes its 100th win.
So you're going to run Merc in
I
GT4?
think I'm going to run Merc.
There is one work I would run. The Team Parker Racing one because it's already 66.
Now I'm going to go my colours. I'm going to go my colours. Don't know whether to go a Gaming Welshman 5 or run the HTB Jaeger Motorsport colours.
Right, question. Is Flem running a special livery this week?
Don't know, not been told.
Because his car is not
That
yellow.
would require a ticket raising and potentially a warning for why he's changed colours.
Because I've also noticed
Clouden
smoke.
is.
Yeah.
Clouden's colours have slightly changed. Smokey.
Smokey is back to his original livery. So I think he heard us say it on the stream.
Right, so we missed that last week. We can't really penalise him for that now.
No.
Tibbs was going to change colour. Messaged me about it. Now, they've set up BSP Racing as an actual team on Instagram. They got their own Instagram and stuff. So, I told him for tonight no, but if Max and others are wanting to run it, I'm half tempted to maybe allow them.
Yeah.
But,
well,
you know, we'll see what happens.
Well, who is it? Harris will be changing colours next week anyway, wouldn't he?
Not Harris. Smith in Pro-Am.
Smith. Yeah, he's... I got confused, didn't I? Because it was another Richard one. It was an R. Like, if we remember, we do the ticket afterwards because, you know, I'm sure they don't want tickets popping up while they're trying to concentrate. It is rather annoying. Oh, I think we know why Wesley did confirm, because he rejoined the Discord.
He's had to pull out of racing. I have spoke with him.
Yeah.
Just his work's changed again. So it now means that he's not back till late. So, it's one of them.
But he could sign up for the endurance.
He could.
If he's
also, we have that Nico Rasenberg, who's not even started a race, has dropped out.
I know I did one race and dropped out, but... because I can't concentrate on doing, like... racing GT3s, practicing GT3s, practicing GT4s, racing the GT4s. and every 2 months, the endurance race. Even though it should be Ben who's setting the car up. Don't make it too hard, Ben. If not, I will park it.
So we're going live now on SimPlay Motorsport for rounds 11 and 12 of the GT3 Championship. Should be an absolute belt here at Paul Ricard. It looks a warm day today. Dan Davis leading the title fight. But can he keep hold of it halfway through the season? Press that link down below to join me and Phil Radin live for all the action.
I touched myself.
Mention SimPlay. There, that, link. Copy link done.
You know, when I run my trains back and forth, I should just stream it, shouldn't I?
Stream it, do a video on it, either way.
If I stream it, maybe everyone can hear me rant. It pretty much was a rant, wasn't it? It's like, fucking thing, move. Wasn't it? Oh fuck, I hit the wall. Festival of Speed's on as well.
Yeah.
But it's now technically rerunning what we've hit 700 subscribers.
Have we?
Yep. I've just loaded up. I've just loaded up the channel, so I've got to keep an eye on it. I just asked for O'Reilly, what has he got a Series S? Because I could tell you, but there is a difference between the S and an X.
Right, so we're only expecting 19 now. Then the two that are missing are Gary and Joe.
Yeah. Gary's just joined.
Sweet, so just Joe.
I'll tell you what, shoehorn Joe into Jaeger Motorsport. Here you go, Joe.
Joe's looking for the password. Obviously hasn't realised because he's not raced all season that the password stays the same. Yeah, baby. Could I be a cunt and ask you to just pour me a drink?
Can you hold on a second?
Yeah, that's fine. Gary Leach. Gary Leach.
With his new number of 10.
Bates. J. Bates. What colours is he? What colours is the Joseph Bates?
I can't see his car because he's the camera is awful. I've got flipping Dennis Newman's BM right in front of it.
Joe starts on pole. You know I'm tipping.
Yeah.
Dan went, nah, he's had no practice. I'm like, yeah, but this is Joe. When does Joe practice?
Very good point.
His connection doesn't look too bad either, to be fair. Does it?
Nope.
Looks better than
Well,
Kings
it's no
and Tibbs.
different than like Tibbs last week.
Right.
Poor Tibbs was so conscious of it.
Are we ready? 5,
Kind of.
4. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport. It is the halfway stage of the Pro Championship. We're bringing you the action live here from a very sunny and gorgeous weather here at Paul Ricard in France. It's going to be a fantastic night's worth of racing. I'm your host, Matthew Duffin, joined in the commentary box once again, as always, on a Thursday night by Phil Radon. PD, it's going to be a good night, isn't it, tonight? It's going to be a cracking night of racing. There is some quick times out there already. And it's a little warmer than last night, so these drivers in for a tricky night.
Yeah, I hope they've got aircon in their cars. They probably have, actually, in real life. But and you asked earlier, before we went live, what colour was Joe's is Mr. Bates's car? Same as last season.
Yeah, of course it is, running the red rum colours. It's great. In fact, he's got the darker blue back. It's great to see Joe back out there. Obviously, he was in the commentary box earlier this season, had to step away due to internet problems. That has potentially sorted itself out. Obviously, the situation of Joe, personal life, hasn't been the best of couple of months for Joe, so it is great to see him. He shouldn't be in the commentary box. It's great to see him back out on the circuit. It really is great to see Fiore back. And another new boy out there as well in a McLaren, and you'll be seeing him on Saturday, teaming with Darren Bell from Pro-Am, Travis King, I believe it is Travis, T. King, in the Vorta Racing colours. He'll be driving with Vorta Racing for the endurance race this Saturday. And it's going to be a fascinating one to see, so you will not want to miss that one. As well, by the way, we potentially have Dan Davis on the grid as well, so we'll keep our eyes out for that one. But it is going to be a fantastic night's worth of action at the moment. Out there, it does look an absolute belter, Phil. The conditions really nice and warm, and this is going to be an interesting one to see.
I don't like nice and warm. I like cold and miserable. I live in Norfolk.
Yeah, true. Well, we just live in the UK, to be fair, where it's always cold.
Yeah, we're not used to warm and dry, are we?
No. Even at middle of July, 10 degrees. Good evening to Mike Matthews in the chat and Tank as well. Joe's racing. Joe is back racing. Yes, indeed. It's great to see Joe back out there at the moment on the circuit. It is going to be an absolutely belting night for Joe. Great to see him back. I did message you in the Discord, actually, to get him and T King sorted. But let's see. But it's all right. I've done it, Mike. Don't worry. No problems. We've got it done. It's going to be a great night of racing, though, Phil. Drivers, many drivers out there. 19 in total at the moment.
Well, at least there's no second-rate sport where they kick a inflated ball around being played. There's some cricket going on, but I don't mind cricket.
Yeah, I don't mind cricket. Sad game of cricket, though. Jimmy Anderson. Last test match, kind of been forced to retire, but oh well.
Forced to retire on top of his game.
Yeah, exactly. At 41 years old.
Oh, not much younger. Well, nearly about the same age as me, pretty much. As Gary now joins the fray.
Either way, enough about the cricket. We had enough about other sports last night, in which time we're not going to get it sorted at the moment. Go Daniel, go Daniel, go Daniel, go Daniel, go, says Mike Matthews in the chat. Titan Mashers says King. F. Gomez is in there. Good race to everybody. Good evening to Naval Gomez in there. Joe's just having a pedal problem at the moment. That'll possibly be dust that is gathered in them. Evening to Peaceful's mum in the chat, who says good luck for tomorrow, as Mike Matthews is taking on his Cat C test, doing his truck licence. That is why he is not here. They're out there on the track today. And to be fair, it's been nice without Mike this week. It's been nice and quiet, nice and chill. You know, and then it'll be chaos when he's back on Monday.
Yeah, but we don't do any racing on Monday. We just have practice.
I hope he's finished in time. Tomorrow we've got stewarding to get sorted from Pro-Am last night. T King J Cloud and teamwork, he's saying in the chat. Interesting to see that. That's going to be one. But 19 drivers tonight, PM. Let me read you through the current drivers' championships as we go into round 11 of the season. And in this round, McLaren can and probably will win the Manufacturers' Championship. Either way, we're not bothered anymore. Dan Davis leads the championship on 394 points from Michael Harris, with Jamal Clouden sitting in P3. Overtaker is P4 with Gary Leach P5. Richard Beasley is P6 from Sky Shundelmeyer 7th. Mike Matthews is P8. Nikita P9 with Insert Coin P10. Tobias Hoffer P11. Ian Gray P12. Pacina P13. Gary Burton at P14. Benny's P15 with Flem Speed 1 in 16th place. O'Reilly is 17th from Eckholt. Kyle, Mitrovicanen, Dennis Newman, Ramey, Fernie aka Smoky Devil, Saba Klarbel, Simon Fuchs, Sullivan, King, Zandberger and Joe Bates yet to score a point this season. So that is where they are in terms of in terms of races and in terms of everything else. So interesting one at the minute, PN, isn't it, really, to see what these boys can do?
Yeah, it will be. Well, this Gary's having more than 10 minutes practice this time.
Yeah, just a little more.
It's not race one, straight into race one. That's your practice sometimes. But yeah, it's McLaren from McLaren. A Ferrari and a McLaren sandwich at the moment at the top of the times. Dan in 6.
Yeah,
then
Dan
the
in
BMWs.
6. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at something there. Yeah, I'm interested at Dan here, down in 6th place. He's struggling. He is struggling this week.
Yeah, but don't if we ran BOP, don't the Lambo lose some weight here?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because me and Dan find this very interesting to look at and just observe. Each week we go to a different circuit. Every time at the moment the list of balance of performance changes, and if we go to circuit pull record, the Lamborghini and McLaren actually gained 16 kilograms, so by that logic they're the better cars around this track. Then it would be the Mercedes AMG would gain 12. The BMW M4 gains 9, the Aston Martin V8 and the Ford Mustang would gain 6, the Audi Evo 2 would gain 5. The cars that lose weight are the Ferrari 296, indicating that it doesn't do well. We saw Tim Ventink do very well last night, and Richard Beasley's doing pretty well tonight. The Honda would lose 32 kilograms of ballast, of weight from the car. So Insert Coin could be in for a long, tricky night tonight. But Porsche loses 7 kilograms. Ford Mustang would gain 6. Bentley would lose 27. The Nissan would actually not gain or lose anything. So interesting, PN, to just see the differences. And then obviously we go to Laguna Seca next week, and that's again a complete turnaround from what we've had this time. The Lamborghini would gain 29 kilograms of ballast, nearly in the 30 kilos. The McLaren would actually lose 6, a track where the McLaren's not strong. The Honda, for example, would gain 7. The Ferrari would gain 4. The BM would gain 5. The Aston Martin would lose 1. The Mercedes would lose 10. The Porsche would actually gain weight on a circuit. Mustang would lose 13 kilograms. The Bentley would lose 36. The Nissan would lose 2. And the Porsche 991 2 GT3R would gain 19 kilograms. So interesting to see this. And this is going to be, I think, the talking point, Phil, next season, when we do look at using that BOP system and we do look at going into
Bentley.
But exactly. But this is the point, isn't it? This is why we're looking at the BOP system and looking at what it's going to bring in.
Yeah, bring back the Bentley. I miss my Bentley. Well, I also miss having a hand up.
Now,
there you go.
We're going to say evening to Tank as well in the chat as Hypertech. BSP Esports. Now, I'm not sure who's in charge of that YouTube account there. I don't know if that's Max or Tim or whoever, but they're cheering on Sky Shundelmeyer, obviously their driver. NRT Sammy, good evening to you. He's cheering on Insert Coin, obviously from their team. Tank wishing the Greasy Bandits and Vorta Racing. So I wonder if T King is racing under the Vorta Racing name. And Chris R says evening all. Chris obviously being Ben's father. And it's great to see everybody in the chat already. Now, PN told me before we came on it, we was live at the time, that we have hit 700 subscribers. So if we have, that is a massive thank you to you guys for tuning in each week. We have 701 subscribers. So guys and girls, thank you very much for tuning in. We're getting close to that 1,000 mark. We're 300 away, or we're 299 away. So thank you all so much. Without your support, we couldn't do this each week, week in, week out. Without you guys being there, it just wouldn't be possible for us to do this. Let's take a look at Overtaker, who's been struggling with tyre temps this week. And PN, you can see why at 41 degrees track temperature.
And it's only going to get hotter as well. And also, if you really want to support the channel, we do have a Patreon, don't we, Matt?
We have a Patreon and a donate button now.
Yeah. So if you really want to help out, become Patreon on one.
Hypertech is asking, is T-King under Vorta Racing? No, nobody told us that. But we could sort that for next week, Hypertech, don't worry. And Mike Matthews saying, it should be good, as the bot will allow drivers to race a car they want and not a car that is fast. And Phil, I suppose this is the talking point, isn't it? Is, drivers kind of, you look at the cars that's out there. A lot of BMs, a lot of McLarens. We see a few Ferraris, we see a few Porsches, we see a couple of Lamborghinis, and obviously the new one in the Ford Mustang. Very rare are we seeing a driver like Insert Coin drive the Honda, John Gooday and Sam driving the Aston Martin. We had Fat Bloke in the Mercedes. We're not seeing Hoffa's in the M6. We're not seeing these old cars. So this ballast kind of brings everybody back, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes the grids varied. If not, you might as well just have a one-make championship, like the Carrera Cup, or Super Trofeo, or Ferrari Challenge. Never go to one of them, by the way.
No, I've been VIP.
Yeah, I've been to one. The
commentator and presenter are brilliant. Dave Richardson, what a guy. Shout out to Dave. He's fantastic. John was saying he will be under Vorta Racing. If you could put him down as that for next week, that would be awesome. Yep, no worries. Hypertech at all. Good evening to Fury's Grandad and the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, who's cheering on Michael Eckholt out there. So Overtake currently P5, Dan currently P6. The Constructors' Championship looks a little like this. It is SimPlay Racing, 16 points clear of the Team FBR drivers, with Quantum Apex Motorsport down in third, Jaeger Motorsport off fourth, with Greasy Bandits Racing P5, GK Racing P6, Effect Motorsport in seventh. Then it's the independent runners, BSP, although I say that, GK are down to independent because Nikita's had to back away for a little bit. Greasy Bandit's down to independent. Jaeger are down to independent. And while Nova, because he's now just become a dad, Quantum Apex is down to an independent. So, yeah. BSP, though, are the independent leaders. They lead over FSO Racing Team and Smoky Racing. There are plenty of points, PN, still up for grabs. Like we say, this is halfway through the season, but it's going to be an interesting one to watch. Dennis Newman and Smoky Devil have qualifying bans today. And as always, if Overtaker can take pole, it'll be his 25th. If BMW get pole, they will be one step closer to that magical 50. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows, indeed. As that's practice over, and starting from pole, returning Joseph Bates.
Yeah, and this one's going to be great to see, PN. It really is going to be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing Joe back out there. He gets to start on the front row of the grid. It's going to be fantastic to see what he can do. Flem Speed 1, it's good to see different cars. It really is great to see different cars out there. If Sky wins, we'll get a new contract with a big money, with big monies on it. Maybe it should be a car limit to see more different cars with Mercedes, Audi, Aston,
I've
Nissan,
suggested
etc.
that.
Put it in the suggestions box. It'll obviously be talked about again at the end of the season. There's BSP leading the way. Senna in the chat saying go BSP. Who is in charge of the BSP account? Let's find out that one. Is it Max Mulder who's in charge?
Is it Max or is it Tracy?
Yes. Yeah.
Scott. Looking. As they are now all readying up final checks off the cars while Matt's checking that. There is a gap on the grid for someone.
Yes, that was meant to be O'Reilly, but he's had to pull out during the practice session, so we couldn't reset the lobby, so he has had to pull out at last minute. So it is Joseph Bates from T-King, Toth Saber will be there P3, Ramy Fernie P4, Dennis Newman will go from 5th with Kyle P6, Michael Eckholt will go from 7th, Flem Speed 1 from 8th, Ben will go from 9th with Ian Gray 10th, Tobias Hoffer P11 with Insert Coin in 12th, flashy from Fury already. Sky Shundermeyer, Insert Corner go from 12th, Sky Shundermeyer 13th, Richard Beasley 14th, Gary Leach 15th, Overtaker P16 from Jamal Cloudham, Michael Harris, Dan Davis bringing up the rear. But Joe Bates' BMW M4 gets to take them away. PN, who's your money on this race win?
hard to look past Joe, isn't it? Even though he's had no practice for a few months, and it's like riding a bike and playing a racing game.
It is indeed. Good evening to Gary Clarble in the chat. We're going to put the two new boys on for a race win.
He's no new boy. So.
New to this season, isn't he? You know what I mean? But yeah, Joe's got many.
Also, Tuesday, first round of the GT4s.
Yeah, well, I was just about to get into that. I was just obviously doing the poll for tonight. Good evening to Gary Clarble. Join us Saturday evening. New commentator Yoshi will be taking the commentary box. Hopefully we'll have someone in with him, or peep drivers can come in and out with him throughout the evening. I'll be bringing you through the 3 hours of Imola. Interesting. It's going to be an interesting race to see that one. It's going to be fantastic to watch, as well as Tuesday evening. Make sure you are signed up on the Discord and on the SimGrid to get your seats in the GT4s. Make sure your hot stints are done. And Senna and BSP voting for other. Sky Shundelmeyer for the win says them too. But make sure your sign-ups are done for Tuesday night's GT4 race. You will not want to miss that. That is at Laguna Seca. That follows the rest of the GT3 calendar, except the GT4s. A very interesting schedule here. It's a bit like the British Touring Car Championship. It's short races, 2 20-minute races, no pit stop included. But as from week 2, which will be the first week being the first week being Laguna, week 2 being Hungaroring, there will be ballast applied. So in them GT4s, the top 8 cars will receive ballast from 40 down to 5 kilograms of ballast, and on a reverse grid, and they will be carried through for the week. So that could be interesting, Phil, to see who's going to do what on that kind of grid with the ballast.
Well, at the moment, only 8 people are signed up, so everyone's getting ballast. That's confirmed for the event. Yeah. Confirmed for the event, so that's 8 people all having ballast. I don't need any more ballast. Looks down at his belly. Yeah, I've got enough success ballast as it is.
We've got to, if you want to be on there, don't forget to sign up. Make sure your hot stint is done. That is so crucial to get that hot stint done as we head to Laguna Seca next week. That's going to be a cracking race as well, Laguna Seca. Love going there.
It's not to be chaos in the corkscrew, isn't it? As Fury gives another cheeky flash.
But we are now getting ready to go underway.
Can we go back to like this place when it was in the 80s, when it had gravel traps everywhere instead of all this tarmac and psychedelic lining? Yeah.
Who is going to come out on top? I wonder.
I think Flem's lagging out because his car just gone straight on, man.
Ben Race 1 winner, GT Diz in the chat. Good evening to yourself. Both very good, thank you, Diz. Senna's looking forward to the GT4s next week. And is Flem back in line? I believe he is. But we come to the final corner. We're both going Fury. The chat is going Fury. We'll get into pit entry as the race goes on. But we, for the first time this evening, for the first time for Joe Bates and Travis King this season, are about to go green here. It's a Mustang second row. Didn't even mention that one. But for round 11, we are green and go here, and Richard Beasley's got himself a drive-through penalty already in this race, and that is not the start he would have wanted. Down towards turn 1, Joe Bates has already got himself away from the pack and down in towards the first corner. It is that of King coming under pressure from Toth Saba then, who's got up the inside of turn 1, going to look around the outside of turn 2. He's made the move stick. Flem's had an incident, I believe that was with Michael Eckholt, that he's collected there in the background. Hopefully everybody's got through that pretty well. There's a bit of a gap from Smokey Devil back, but Smokey Devil, Ramey Fernie's having a look up the inside then of Dennis Newman, and Dennis Newman gets that job done. But Joe Bates at the start got the power down. Tonight I think we're going to get to see what the Mustang's really going to do, because already Joey's coming under pressure from Toth Saba.
Oh, yeah, the Mustang's loose on the rear though, through back corner. Yeah, I've got a track map for here, because it's an F1 circuit. It says the actual corner names. I'm not going to get it because it's Paul Ricard.
Well, let's see what the BMW can do compared to the Ford Mustang. Down the start straight, good evening to Paul Williams in the chat. Down the back finish, down the back straight goes the Mustang and the BMW. We know the Mustang's got great grunt in a straight line. Joe's already gone defensive. It'll be the BM through the corners of the last sector where it's going to be advantageous. And Joe defending that inside line. Todd's going to have to be patient to wait around the outside. And Joe hangs on in there. What about Ramey? We saw Ramey going squeezing up the inside of Dennis Newman, forcing Dennis to go a little wide there, and Dennis gets the move back. Kyle's dropped behind Sky Schundelmeyer. Ben's running in 8th with Insert Coin just dropping behind Clouden for 9th and 10th. Gary Leach is up to 11th. Dan Davis is 12th from Ian Gray, who's just getting past that of that look. Sorry, no, that was Harris getting past out of Ian Gray. Eckholt's just behind. Richard Beasley with a drive-through. Then Tobias Hoffer with big damage. Overtaker, oh, he's sustained some damage as well. And Flem Speed 1 is stationary down at the bottom end of the circuit.
Yeah, I can't actually see his car on the cameras yet either. So that's going to drive. But Joe leads the first lap. But he's got Sabo for close company with the grunt machine. So we've been a bit better through the corners. And then down the straights is the grunt of the Mustang.
It's how that Mustang can do through the corners that's going to be the problem. Sky Schundelmeyer has now cleared Ramey Fernie. He's trying to get on the back of Dennis Newman. Kyle trying to follow them through. Got a win debut last week. Ben's with them as well as Jamal Clouden, who's looked mightily impressive. Jamal Clouden running a special livery tonight in honour of all those who's lost their lives or been seriously injured through the hurricanes that have hit the Caribbean islands, as he's looking up the inside of Ben, now around the outside of Ben, and who's made a mistake? Believe it was Dennis Newman, and Clouden and Ben going side by side for 3 corners, and that is fantastic racing. Clouden has got through over Ben. Insert Coin still there. Gary's dropped back a couple of places because Eckholt and Dan Davis have got past him. Then it's Michael Harris, and you see Ian Gray, Tobias Hoffer, Overtaker, Richard Beasley's done his drive-through, and Flem Speed 1 is now at the top end of the circuit. Hopefully he's back underway. But Joe Bates, look, side by side, PN, down the back straight with Toff Saba, just proving how good that Ford Mustang is in a straight line.
Can you imagine if we actually that Mustang at Monza? If we had Monza this season,
it'd be scary. Toth, though, takes the lead of this race from that of Joseph Bates. A Toth Saba leads here. Dennis Newman coming under pressure once again from Ramey Fernie, who's got back air to Sky Schundelmeyer. That is that horsepower of the Mustang. The pit window has opened, and don't forget the drivers have to make sure they enter the pit entry line and not cut it. It does not matter what PN sees on his screen. It's down to the drivers to report it or for us to catch it on my screen on the stream. So whatever PN sees and says will not matter unless we see it on stream. As Joe now through the corners really has that BM hooked up. That is where the BM is a lot stronger, Phil, over the Mustang.
Yeah, in the twiddly bits, as it's called. Flem's already the first person to pit.
Oh, Ramey's had a problem. Just going back to see what him and Sky was doing. Ramey's behind Overtaker.
He is behind Overtaker, and any pit calls yet?
Michael
Ben's
Harris
pitted first. Harris has pitted.
Ben's still out. Ben's still out on the circuit.
Yeah, the P moved before I could see the name.
There we go. There we go. So Joe Bates trying to stick to the
Harris
back.
has damage on the front end of his BM. It's very...
So that's going to be an interesting pit stop for him. Will he repair it or not in this 20-minute race? But so far, it is Toth Saba leading the way. Ford Mustang don't have a win to their names this season. And with him being half a second clear of Joe Bates at the moment, you've got Travis King as well just in the background on his debut. I'd love to say it's Joe's debut, but it's not. It is actually race number... just move my drink out of the way so I don't... knock that over.
Triple figures for Joe.
Yeah, it's triple figures. Fury's actually the third most experienced driver around here. It's his 321st race start, and he's now got to use that experience for 55 race wins, 129 podiums, 25 pole positions to try and get himself ahead of Toth Saba, but can't do so at the minute. Kyle is going side by side with Jamal Clouden, who's having a look then down the pack on
Saba big...
Kyle here. Sorry, what happened, PN?
Saba just had a big twitch on the curb on the exit of the right-hander, and now Joe's up the inside. Oh, they're still side by side, going through whatever name this corner is. Yeah. I think Joe's in front.
Joe's got it done.
Kyle
got past Clouden, and Dan Davis now sat on the back of him. Insert Coins P9 with Echo P10. Gary Leach in the thick of a fight here with Overtaker. He's also got that of Tobias Hoffer just up front, and Overtaker and Gary just tapping each other a little bit there. Gary must have had a couple of problems because there's no damage on his car. Just behind them, excuse me, is Ramey. Overtaker, fastest lap of the race, even with that bit of a broken car to his name at the minute. Flem Speed 1
Dennis is in.
Overtaker is also in. Flem Speed 1 is now on his way out the pit lane.
Yeah, so maybe trying to sort out his internet. Oh,
Possibly.
Smokey was close to him on pit exit, just sort of like cutting him off. You're meant to pull over, Smokey, a little bit. That was a bit dangerous, but that won't caught on the main broadcast. Smokey Devil, track limit penalty.
Smokey Devil track limit penalty. We're only on lap 3 of this race, and Toth Saber already now back ahead of Joe, so he's got in front down the start finish straight and through the first couple of corners, and he's now being able to push here on that back straight. He's got Joe just behind him in that slipstream. They're taking King with them. Sky Schundelmeyer's 2.7 behind. He's got Clouden putting him under pressure. We got Ben a little further back trying to put Ian Gray under some pressure. Then Tobias Hoffer, Gary Leach, Ramey Fernie with that Scott go. Dennis comes out, Kyle comes out, Eckholt's just been released. Overtaker's right behind Kyle. And where is Dan Davis? He's up to 6th. Apologies, couldn't see his name.
He's 6th at the moment. I'll tell you what, FBR Racing are going to take a lot of points from SimPlay Racing this week.
They are. Michael obviously get a drop score back. Joe's going to try and tuck underneath Toth Saber here. We've also got Clouden and Sky. Sky's got a bit of damage on the rear of that McLaren, so there's a couple of battles here. One huge one for the race lead. Look, Toth Saber just sticking it out ahead of Joe Bates and then Travis King. And then we've got Sky Schundelmeyer and Jamal Clouden with Dan Davis not too far back in the background. But Joe just not being able to find a way past. It is that Mustang's power in a straight line that's keeping him in front at the moment.
If I was Joe, I'd pit.
I think he's heard you. I literally think he's just heard you because he's straight into the pit. Sky and Jamal stay out, as does Dan Davis, and insert coin. Ian Gray is going to come into the pits. Ben stays out. Tobias Hoffer stays out. Gary is also staying out. Ramey Fernie in for that drive-through penalty before his pit stop. That'll help Richard Beasley, who's took the fastest lap of the race, gain a couple of places here. Michael Harris on the back of Dennis Newman. Team FBR are going to need this. Overtaker as well is on the back of Kyle. He is pushing Kyle through, who Team FBR, very quick driver, he said. And he's just got to get up to speed because he's only just got a PS5, or new to the PS5. She's got to get up to speed, or Xbox should I say, so he's got to get up to speed.
He's on a Series X or S, so one of the two.
As Overtaker's having a look, and nothing happens there. Clouden's got ahead of Sky, so I'm not sure what's happened to them two there, but Clouden's got ahead of Sky. There's Toff, there's Travis, then it's Jamal Clouden, Sky Schundelmeyer, Dan Davis, all within a second of each other. So let's keep our eyes on Jamal and Sky at the moment. They're the two to watch so far. Fury's pit stop's done.
Smokey servered in his pit stop, not the drive-through.
Interesting. So I wonder if he's turned his penalty off. Good evening to Peaceful Stepdad. Like Tracy says, everybody hit that like button. As Sky's now going to look up the inside of Jamal Clouden again through the right-hander. Side by side they go. Jamal's going to have to keep that within the track limits, and he does just so. And Sky Schundelmeyer, great move up the inside for him. Tibbs on a charge tonight, and he looks fired up for this one.
And look who's with him. Mr. Davis. He's there.
Championship leader Dan Davis on the thick of this fight, down to Dennis Newman just briefly as the order changes. Joe Bates, the leader of the pit runners. That's Flem, who's actually pulled over to the side of the road. And Joe Bates here is under pressure from Michael Harris and Michael Eckholt and Dennis Newman. So where have they come from? Did Joe have a bit of a horrible pit stop?
Yeah, Tibbs is coming into the pits and Clouden went for the overtake. Oh, and Saber's in, and so is King. So
yeah, it's only Dan and Clouden who stays out. Tobias comes in, Gary stays out. Not sure about Richard Beasley, but Joe Bates has lost a lot of time in the pit lane there.
He has. He's got Harris alongside him down the back straight. Oh, they make contact.
Little tap there, BM to BM, and that could allow Eckholt to have a look through. But Michael Harris has been spun around. He's been tapped by Eckholt and spun around. Eckholt waits to give Harris the place back, but they both lose out now to Dennis Newman, and here comes Kyle with Overtaker as well. So Eckholt taps him and spins him round. The Mustang is 9 kilometres per hour quicker in the straights than the Ferrari and McLaren, and 5 kilometres per hour on the same wing but that is still crazy fast. At 5 kilometres per hour quicker than the others on the straight. So that is how fast that Ford Mustang is in a straight line. Toth, though, is coming through. Sky's already done his stop. He's away. Toth still not been dropped. King's just been dropped, but he's lost a place. Toth is now dropped, but he's lost 3 places. What about Tobias Hoffer? No, he doesn't. What about Joe Bates, who comes down? Whoa! Has to avoid the cars and doesn't get out ahead of Tibbs. So Sky Schundelmeyer gets the jump on him.
And Dennis just tangled with Sabo a little bit. We had an incident back in season 1.
I believe it was season 1. Yeah, Daz Automatic.
Yeah. He was absolutely coming out of the pits and absolutely destroyed by... I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was now. Can't remember who it was.
Because that's when... Well, it's East West Motorsport, wasn't it?
Believe so, yeah. But look at this. Look at this, Phil. We've got Sky, Joe within a second half. We've got Insert Coin 9/10 behind him. Then King, then Newman, then Saber, then Harris, then Eckholt, then Overtaker because Kyle has just gone off straight on somewhere. Then it's Ian Gray and Tobias Hoffer having their own fight. Ben's a little further back. Then it's Richard Beasley. Then it is Ramey. Then it is Flem who's back on the circuit now. Jamal's decided to come into the pit lane.
Yeah, leaving Dan on his own.
And Gary Leach as well comes into the pit. So Dan going for that overcut. Is this a strategy Dan may have picked up last night on the commentary box as we say good evening to Mother Davis? Hope you're very well. And is this a strategy that Dan's picked up on the commentary box last night? Dropping back to Insert Coin. He's got Travis King with Dennis Newman with Toff Saber. So if that Mustang is 5 kilometres per hour quicker than the BMs and the Hondas in front, and it's 9 kilometres quicker than the McLaren's in front. You fancy him down the straights, don't you?
Yeah, and as P. Williams just mentioned Black Pudding, and no one wants Black Pudding.
Evening to Mick. I presume that's Michael from Pro-Am. GTR is the best. It looked really good in Michael's hands last night. Look at this from Harris, having a look into the final corner. That is a brave look. A bit of contact there from Harris. Eckholt's now trying to squeeze through as well. And the Mustang run out a little wide, but Michael Harris gets through there. All come flying past Gary Leach. Where did Clouden come out in all of this? He's there. Just lost out then to T. King, and he's got Dennis Newman right up his trumpet with that of Harris, Eckholt and Sauber having an immense battle. This is great racing. Overtakers there as well, PN. It is fantastic to watch at the minute.
This is like the closest pro race we've had all season. Really, as Dan is the only person who's not pitted, but he should be pitting anytime soon.
So if we look at this angle here, look, there's Sky Schundelmeyer, 2 seconds to Joe, has a bit of a wiggle, then it's Insert Coin. Honda wasn't going to do well, apparently, because of the weight. He's on the back of Joe, King from Clouden, Newman from Harris, Toth from Eckholt with Overtaker, then it got back to Ian Gray and Tobias Hoffer and Gary Leach. Kyle's a bit further back from them as well. You just see him in shot now. Then it's Richard Beasley who's trying to lap Flem Speed 1. Ben's not sure what's happened to Ben. He's dropped down the order. Amy Fernie with a drive-through. And Flem down the back of the pack. Dan Davis yet to pit though. And he carries on his way. Insert Coin's attacking Joe. Clouden's attacking that of T. King. Insert Coin tucks in behind. What about T. King and Clouden? King very wide. Clouden through.
Yeah, as Dan's probably going to pit last second he can.
He's got this lap. He's going to have to pit. Oh, Saber's wide. Saber's very wide. Eckholt and Overtaker through. All they. Saber side by side with Overtaker. Overtaker looks like he didn't repair his damage in this one. Sky is on fire. He's having an absolute belter in this race as the vote goes the way of the other driver. And Saber did lose out to Overtaker in the end. But what a race this is, PM.
It is. It's so close. But Sky's pulling away from Joe.
Yeah.
But he's found pace. He's obviously got Max's setup from yesterday. Will Dan pit? Dan has to pit this lap.
Yeah, he's got no choice to pit this lap. He has no choice but to pit this time around, does Dan Davis. He's going to have to at the end of this one. And that's going to be an interesting one to see Dan Davis dive into the pit lane here to make his pit stop. Keep going, Sky and Chris. He overshot the pit box and had to reverse. That's why Ben is down the order. But Joe is coming under immense pressure from the Honda of Insert Coin down the order. We've got Sauber close with Overtaker once again. That'll be a straight line speed advantage. Michael Harris is now behind them two with Dennis Newman. So if them two had a bit of a tangle somewhere, because Toth and Overtaker back in front, and who's that? Ian Gray has tapped that at Michael Harris now.
Dan's in.
And Harris slow to get away. He's back on track now. Ian Gray's got through, but Dan Davis in the pits. Where is Sky Schundelmeyer? Back straight. Where's Dan Davis? He's only just in. PN, tell us when Dan Davis is stationary in his box. We're watching Joseph Bates be attacked by Insert Coin. Here they come. Joe's already defended that inside line over Insert Coin at the right-hander, and Joe manages to stay out in front. Guys, if you haven't already, guys and girls, hit that thumbs up button for this race one. What a thriller it has been at the get-go already. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit that bell to be notified. Dan is just stationary in his box. 25 seconds. He's got to wait here. He's left it till the very end. And I tell you what, I don't think Dan... Oh, he's saying that he's very close to the pit exit. PM, tell us when he starts to move. As here comes exit Sky Schundelmeyer then. Towards the final corner. Rounds it now. Dan still hasn't gone green. And here comes Sky. He goes green now. Sky Schundelmeyer's coming down the straight, as is Joe Bates. Where is Dan Davis? He's off the limiter. What about Sky Schundelmeyer? I think Dan's pulled a blinder and may have just won this race on strategy. He leads from Sky, from Joe Bates. Phil, that is all down to Dan Davis's call. What a call it was.
It was. Just go long. Won't work probably in the feature race, because you're going to need that rubber.
Jamal Clouden attacking the back of the Honda of Insert Coin, the McLaren to the outside of turn 3. In fact, gets it done on the brakes, but runs a little deep. Tries to come back onto the track. Just hampers Insert Coin a little bit there. All four wheels, I think, exited the circuit, and it looks like Jamal has given up that place in doing so. So nicely done there from Jamal. Come on, Sky, get him, says the BSP Esport team in the chat. Jamal has a huge wiggle, and now Dennis Newman's back in the pits for heavy damage. That's the end of his race. Mike Matthews go on, Dan cheering on his teammate, but Sky Schundelmeyer could be coming for Dan Davis in this one. Sky has had a great race, but it's again the 8-time champion who has another strategy call. That is why he's an 8-time champion, PN, because of calls like that.
Yeah, well, Sky's won. Has Sky won any pro races?
Not sure.
I know he's been on the podium in GT4s. Did he win one of them?
I think so.
I can't remember because a lot's happened since then. Yeah, so Sky's hungry. Dan is trying to get maximum amount of points to SimPlay Race, and he can with him on and with Mike away for training.
Yeah, Mike's drop score only gets him 20 odd points, so it's not a lot.
So it's 44 degrees now, track 10. That's rather toasty.
That is a little warm. Down the start straight though they come. Leader starts the final lap. It is Dan from Sky, from Joe Bates, Insert Coin and Jamal Clouden going side by side once again. This has been a great opener to the night here. It's been absolutely fantastic in this first race, and Insert Coin going to try and defend that inside line over Jamal Clouden. He does, and the inside line for turn 2. Clouden tries to tuck underneath. Did he get a bit of a run? Believe he did. Here comes Clouden then. Has that momentum down towards to take P4 away from Insert Coin. Losing points over Dan Davis in this race at the minute. Clouden gets through this time, and Insert Coin, Matt has to tuck him behind. He can't do anything else with that.
Switch to Power 5000 Sky. That's definitely max.
Yeah, 100%. It's a great race, though, this already, isn't it? It's been an absolute belter.
It has. It's been a few incidents, so happened. There's been a bit of contact, but it's the nature of this circuit, I think.
It is indeed. Insert Coin's been overtaken by Eccles and not King. So King's made up 2 places here. Dan Davis, though, has got Sky within 0.6 of a second. Dan needs to hope that Lamborghini hangs on in here for the final couple of corners of this race. Can this race win? Go the way of Dan Davis, who won last time out. Richard Beasley, fastest laps. That's an extra point for the boys at Team FBR. Dan ran a little wide, dropped wheel on the blue stuff, and Tibbs, Sky, could be getting a little bit closer here in these final couple of corners. Are we going to see a send it from Sky Schundelmeyer? He's getting closer every corner he goes through over that Lamborghini. Did Dan Davis pull out a blinding strategy? Is Sky Schundelmeyer going to be the man who's going to take this race win? All's going to come down to this final corner here. Has Sky got a run to maybe look up the inside? He lunges! He's not close enough. He's not close enough. Has he got the momentum out of the corner? No, he hasn't. It is going to go the way of Dan Davis for the race win. But what a drive from Sky Schundelmeyer for P2. Joseph Bates on his comeback on the podium, P3. Jamal Clouden will cross the line for 4th. Michael Eckholt 5th. Insert coin P6. T King on debut P7. Toff Saba, well, we thought he could have possibly been on for the race win here. Not to be for him in this one. Great race, though, for P8. Overtaker is going to come to the line for P9. Not the race he'd have wanted. Michael Harris, P10. Tobias Hoffer, P11 from Gary Leach, P12. Then it is the way of Kyle, Richard Beasley, Ian Gray, as we await Ben to come to the line in a moment. He crosses it for P16. Ramy Fernie down in 17th place at the moment. Just awaiting him to cross the line. Sorry, Phil.
And Dennis did come back out on track. He must have had a lot of damage on that BMW.
It looked a little ruined, didn't it?
There was definitely probably more than sort of race end worth of damage looking at that BM.
So here comes Ramy Fernie then towards the line here at the end. And he's going to cross that for 17th place. And we just await Dennis Newman, who's only on the back straight at the moment. So we can get the results inputted now for everybody. And don't forget, that will not be Joe Bates or King's drop score this week. They will not have a drop score until next week. So if their points look a little off next time out after Laguna Seca, that will be why. Obviously, the pros drop scores will end at round 10. Obviously, we're on week 5 at the moment. Week 10.
Week 10?
And I'm looking at the calendar. Sorry, apologies. I was just messing it. So Zandvoort will be the last week for drop scores in Pro. And for Pro-Am, it will be Zolder due to the fact of Cota. But that, though, is race 1 done. Dennis Newman's not been able to get to the end of the race. The timer has counted on, so we need to extend that timer just a little bit. He will be classified as scoring points. Don't worry about that one for Dennis Newman. He's going to round the final corner now, and he will take that next spot, that P18 spot, as he crosses the line there. So P18 for Dennis Newman. But that is all we have for the time being. We'll catch you in a few moments' time. Go and get a refreshment, maybe pop to the toilet and come back, because if race 2 is the same as race 1, you will not want to miss it. Stay there. Right, I'm running to the toilet.
I'm not running anywhere, I'll fall over. Oh, Dennis is moaning in the chat. Grey. And Gray's just said, I never intentionally hit anyone, raise a ticket or DM me. Which is right, isn't it? Don't put it in the open channels on Discord. Bloody German. How many times do we have to tell them, put a ticket in? Right, I'm going for a piss now. Oh, gotta get up. Oh. What are people just stopping on track for?
I don't know.
Because Smokey's done it now. Oh, Flem's wheelbase has gone.
How do you know?
He's just said in the live chat.
Oh, is it? That explains a lot.
Yeah. That's hardware failure, I'm okay with that.
Well, he's technically not retired from a race, has he?
No, because he's just not going to do the second race, is he?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, though, sim racing gear gets expensive. Is that a Thrustmaster gear, I think?
That to me sounds either like Thrustmaster or Fanatec.
And they got hot, and then they've cooked.
Well, they've either got hot or... I mean, Fanatec don't do that when they get hot, but it just depends how much wear and tear he's had.
Thrustmaster do. I've seen Thrustmaster start smoking and catch on fire. 55 in the 66 and in the commentary box. You notice I've come in on the Jag.
Yeah.
Oh. Keep an eye on Discord, see if Dennis puts a ticket in. I got taken out with the first lap for a change. But you still got fast lap, Beasley.
Yeah.
So if a car's got pace, so it'd been interesting to see what happened if Beasley could have finished higher and didn't have a drive-through. That's the thing, the drivers don't put it in as a ticket. We can't penalise it.
Thanks, man. Worked. Treat. Worked a lot better than I thought it would. Wasn't really expecting to come out first, but yeah, worked out really well. Gary's quite confident in his car now. Just needs to make a couple of changes. He'll be there. But yeah. What's actually so? Oh God. Oh, a new mic sounds good. No, I haven't got a new mic. The quality of the stream's a lot better now, I guess. So, yeah. I haven't changed anything, to be honest. The only I've changed is yeah, fingers crossed that we can keep these great streams. Interesting to see how the back to stuff looks, because obviously my cousin told me it's all about the internet. So possibly it could look a lot better with the right settings. Guys, if you haven't done so, then over to SimPlay Motorsport on YouTube, give them a like and subscribe. You'll see me commentating on there quite often, and obviously racing as well. And also head over to Gaming Rush with 5 on his Twitch and give him a follow. So that's Matt in the chat. Yeah, I'm currently live on Twitch and YouTube. Twitch is just unorthodox16, so give me a follow on there. And if you're on YouTube, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss any of my races or any of my streams in general. Like I said, now we've got the internet running beautifully and consistently.
Couldn't have.
Me again and bring back some horror streams.
Mine went off earlier, but 5 hours ago. Because they were connecting the new lines.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then someone complained down the road that we didn't have a phone line, so they had to disconnect it again.
There's no rear wing.
What have you done?
Is GT4's 10 sets of tyres as well?
I think so. It's not needed really, is it?
No. No, you don't really wear through them, do you?
No, and the shortness of the race, and there's no pit stop.
Yeah, it's still the hour practice, isn't it? The 10-minute practice.
Yeah. Not like I'll be on track.
I'll do the first hour, but I won't do that second 10 minutes. Never do. It's when I can get up, have a stretch, and go for a wee out my chair.
I'm glad it's Benny in the car first, so I got more time to rest my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Green light, he was okay.
5. In fact, you know what? Just rest a couple of minutes. It's a long out lap here, isn't it? So let's Cloudy's first one.
Yeah.
Let's give it a little bit of time. Just have a bit more of a fucking pissing it down again. What's the weather meant to be this week? Joe's absolutely buzzing his tits off, by the way.
Yeah.
Just a P3 after 2 months out. Get on.
Don't know if he heard us say that we said he'd win.
Oh, the next 3 days is meant to be nice. Get on. Tomorrow.
Oh, no. Sunday's looking dry.
Oh, it's meant to shower at 6. Great. Showers at 6. What time's Kieran coming for tennis? About 6.
Don't tell us to you.
Oh, I'll fucking still.
Unless it's indoors.
No, outdoors we don't pay for it. There's a couple of council courts, so it's quite annoying.
Yeah, well, play it in the rain, don't you?
She's off out to. It's only concrete as well, you know. So it's just like I say, council stuff. So it's not grass. flooring or anything, so it's not like you're probably going to slip. She's off out with friends. So.
Right, Clouden.
Right, did I do the
down the back
tables?
straight?
Yeah, I've got him on my screen. Let me just double check I've done the tables.
Oh, because keeping an eye on the 13 and the 43 don't go out. Smokey needs to sign up for GT4s. I don't think he can get rid of his qualifying bands.
Yeah, I might message him. Right. Okay. Five, four. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. Literally as Clouden crosses the line to start his first flying lap. We thought we'd have the little couple of minutes extra, seeing as this is such a long lap here. So we have time to go through the Drivers' Championships. Obviously, I have already done a couple of drop scores for drivers who aren't here tonight. So all the provisional table, penalties could change the results of things, but it is Dan Davis, 85 points clear of Jamal Clouden. Obviously, drop scores will be taken into account at the end of the night. They're both racing. Michael Harris, 97 behind. Overtakers P4 with Gary in P5. He's starting to pull away from Gary now to cement P4. He's a bit behind Harris at the moment, so he's got work to do. RB Racing's down in P6. He's closing that gap on Gary. Sky Shundermeyer shoots up to 7th with that one. Mike Matthews in 8th. I say shoots up to 7th. I think he was already here, but because people have dropped out, their names are just read to work out points for other things. Mike Matthews is 8th. Insert coin is now 9th. From Nikita Tobias Hoffer, Ian Gray, Ben Pacina Eckholt, Burton, Flem Speed 1, O'Reilly, Kyle, Dennis Newman, Saber, Ramy Mitrovicanen, Joe Bates, Clarbel King, Simon Fuchs, Sullivan, and Zan Brieger. We have lost Flem Speed 1. His wheelbase has died. So hopefully he can get that one working for next time. In fact, for Saturday, because he'll be in the endurance event with Diego Flores for that one then. So what a opening race, PN. It had everything, didn't it? It was an absolute belter of a first race.
Yeah, not bad. A returning podium. I believe he's absolutely buzzing with that, which to his confidence no end of good. And what a drive by Dan.
Great strategy. Great strategy. Really was the ultimate strategy, really. Toth Saber's not left the pitch. Ramy Fernie and Dennis Newman on quali bands. Michael Harris hasn't left the pitch yet either. Here comes Jamal excuse me, Jamal Clouden. All the dots are light blue, so we are going to ignore that. Jamal Clouden goes provisional pole at the minute. Here comes Unorthodox. Dan Davis, he goes next. Quickest overtakers coming towards the line, but Richard Beasley first. He doesn't set a time, so he did invalidate his. What about Overtaker? He goes provisional pole at the minute. So that is one heck of a lap from Overtaker at the moment. Michael Eckholt then to the line. He must have invalidated his. After him is car 21. That is Tobias Hoffer, who goes P4. Then we have T King towards the line. He stays where he is. That one must have been invalidated. Car 91. That is Kyle. It's hard while all the dots are light blue at the moment. So Kyle towards the line now. What will his lap time be?
Hoffer's put a lap time in.
He's P4, 3.4 off the pace at the moment. Top 3 very close. Overtaker will be wanting to take that pole position to get his 25th. Kyle goes P4 at the moment. Then I believe that is the 1, 2, 3 of insert coin. Yes, it is coming towards the line now. What is his lap time going to be? He goes P4 at the moment. Ian Gray next to the line. No, he's got a car in front of him. That is Sky Shundelmeyer goes P4. Ian Gray to the line goes P5. Car behind them. That is the 1-3-1 of Gary Leach. What will he do in his Porsche? Invalid lap time for him, it must be. Then it's the 140 of Ben next time round, who missed his pit box. Did Ben in race 1. That's why he was down the order a little bit. And here comes Ben towards the line. Can he get any improvement here? To the line he comes now. No, doesn't set a lap time. I believe that's Joe Bates, who goes P6. Oh, did Ben set a lap time? He did. Ben went P4. Joe Bates goes into 6th place. And we're right back around to Jamal Clouden again. Dan's on an invalid lap though, Pierre, I notice.
Well, he might not be, because, you know, this game's been a bit iffy with that lately, with the dots not being the right colours. Clouden now go part fast as well, 54.7.
Yeah, great lap from Jamal Clouden. Car 17, that's Richard Beasley, who is on a valid lap time. He goes P5. Where is Overtaker? Does he improve 3/10? No, he does not. Stays second place. Car 33 will be the next one. That is Michael Eckholt. Overtaker, don't forget, looking for that pole. Michael Eckholt goes P2. Couple of invalid laps behind. We're going to go to the 777 of Ian Gray because he's the next one on a flying lap. And he's got a bit of time at the minute till he can get there.
Yeah, P. Williams just put, Matt, I'm liking the Beamer. Ask me again after Saturday at Imola, though.
Don't like it too much. I'm hopefully racing Saturday. I'm hopefully going to be racing. But Paul, great to see that you're liking the Beamer. Maybe the switch from McLaren to Beamer next season. Oh no, your Lamborghini, aren't you, Paul Williams? Sorry, apologies. Your Lamborghini, yeah, your Lamborghini. Was trying to get one out of the BMW there. 3 people currently watching my personal stream. It says so. If you are watching my personal stream, come over to SimPlay Motorsport, subscribe and like the stream over there, watching the same race but with fancy overlays. Ian Gray to the line, stays P9. Currently next car to the line will be car number 10 of Joseph Bates. Got to get used to that new number.
Yeah, well. Yeah, established it to set a time, but with the grunt machine and then the grip machine, and that sounds like an episode of Grand Tour now.
Yeah.
Clarkson would definitely be in the Mustang because that's the grunt machine.
Joe goes to P8, so stays where he is. Dan Davis next to the line. Great to see Joe back out there though, PN, in it. It's great to have him with us.
Yeah, it is. He's probably glad to be out for Comsbox.
Yeah, probably is. Great to see Joe doing what he does best. As here comes Dan Davis, half a second off the pole time. No improvement for Dan. Who's next? That is car 17. That is Richard Beasley. He comes to the line, jumps ahead of Dan. What about Overtaker down in P4 now? Does he find any more time? No, he does not. This time around, car 21. That is Tobias Hoffer, who is currently on a lap time. So at the minute, PN, it is Clouden, who's currently sat in the pits, who's just narrowly ahead.
Hoffer moves up to 13th and back down to 14th as I believe it was Coyne.
Sabat just went quickest. T King's P10. The next car to cross the line is Insert Coyne. He's coming around the final couple of corners now.
There he is.
So here comes Insert Coin. Next car on a valid lap is Gary 131. Currently 2.9 off the pole is Gary at the moment. That Honda just doesn't sound like it has any grunt at the moment as it pulls out the final corner. It does though, because it goes up to P9. Next car on a valid lap, Gary 131. Loves a mid-session tweak. And that's where we normally see the best from Gary. Dan down in 5th fastest at the minute. Ben on the back of him with Michael Harris. Top 7 separated by 7/10 of a second. Where is this going to put Mr. Leach before Joe Bates will come to the line? Gary 131. No improvement. Stays P16. Good evening to Dean Wasocki in the chat. Joseph Bates now to the final corner as Kyle returns to the pit lane. Here comes Joe out the final corner. He comes down the start-finish straight. Where is this lap time going to put him? Out there. Stays P10 at the moment. Next car 14 of Overtaker.
I should have found the track map in the break to
Apparently,
corner names.
Apparently Paul Williams is running the BM in the endurance race because Harris doesn't have the skills to run the Lamborghini. Well, we'll see. Overtaker's just bailed on his lap. Yeah, he's just bailed. I believe it's Sky Schundelmeyer. No, it's not Sky Schundelmeyer. It's 21. That is Tobias Hoffer next on a valid lap. 29 people current. Oh, there's been a big slide somewhere. Just heard the tyres squealing. That was, I think, Ben. Not quite sure, but here comes Tobias Hoffer. Nice to know that I can't blame the Beamer and not I can blame the Beamer and not myself for being as quick as the Macca and the Ferrari on this track. Indeed so, as Tobias Hoffer stays where he is, car 34. That then is 24, is it? No, it's not 24. 14?
Harris,
no, it can't be 13.
It's Harris, 34. It jumped to P4 for Harris.
He has got to P4. Thank you, PM, because I could not see that number for love nor money. 1, 2, 3. That is Insert Coin. 25 people currently watching the stream. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And hit the bell to be notified. As P. Williams there just saying good evening to Dean Wasocki, who is now in the chat. As Insert Coin goes P8 at the moment. Gary 131 next to the line.
Gary loves
The
him
M6
with,
looks nice.
Sheffield.
Yeah, I do quite like the M6, to be fair. I see what you're saying. M4, I think, looks better. Gary Leach, 2.7 off the pole. Needs 6 attempts to go ahead of Tobias Hoffer. Gets a bit more. Puts himself P13. Joe Bates' turn again, PN.
Yep. Just track time now, isn't it, really? Just out there, just...
Getting back into
do
that
laps.
flow of things, isn't it? Getting back into that
Yeah.
rhythm. Joe Bates improves. P9 he goes. Ahead of Sky Schundelmeyer. Not the quickest in qualifying so far for Sky, but brilliant in the race.
Absolute brilliant. And we knew we was going to at least give it a try on Dan, didn't we? We had to.
You'd be silly not to, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, the next person on a clean lap, apparently, is Hoffer.
Yeah, that's who we're currently on board with. After that, it is Harris, who is P4. So Diz saying that at least it wasn't just him. At least it's the Ferrari and the McLaren that are better around this circuit than other cars. Insert Coins had a good night. Honda looking at that BOP system, not tipped to do very well. So he's had a good evening so far. Here comes Tobias Hoffer down towards the line. 2.1 off the pole. Doesn't find an improvement. Next up, Michael Harris, who will be on a better lap time.
Crucially, both FBR cars are in front of Dan. For this
Yeah,
show.
and Michael Harris
Qualifying.
goes within a tenth. Look at that, a tenth separate the top three. And that is car 33 of Eckholt, who's exited the final corner. It's 36, 33 and 34. Eckholt goes pole by a tenth.
Yeah, and there's 17. That's B. I think BC.
No, wasn't
on.
it? Yeah, it was on an invalid. I'm just trying to find out who's on a valid. That is car 21 of Hoffer again. All the way down this end of the circuit here. Dean, think I might get the rig up and get back into the groove. Get on it. Easily done. Get back in it. Harris has proved me wrong. I guess it's me. Don't worry, Diz. I don't think I was feeling too strong either. P. Williams, when I say the skills, I mean the FBR required waist size. What's the required waist size? The two in the
what
commentary box
is the
tonight
waist size?
may fit the criteria.
I think both of us might.
So here comes Tobias Hoffer.
and required weight to be an FBR as well.
Yeah.
It's in stone.
Any
please. I can't-
limit, any limitations? Just DM us on Discord, PM Motorsport Matthew Duffin, and you know, tell us the minimum requirements, and we'll see if we match them.
Technically, I could because I've got an Xbox sitting there, so I could race an FBR.
They'll just have to. Yeah, well, they are crossplay. They are crossplay. Obviously, if you haven't already, make sure you go check out the FBR Boys race on a Sunday evening. Their British GT Championship starts at the end of the month. We are sort of collaborating with them. We're sending drivers to them if we can, and they're bringing drivers to us. Fantastic drivers as well, might we add. It's great to have the FBR Boys with us. Tobias Hoffer in a quiet qualifying is coming to the line. That overtaker's just gone second. He has come to upset the party. I didn't realise he ran a valid lap time. Tobias Hoffer stays 16th. Next car, the 804 of Toth Saber.
In the Mustang.
And drivers on their final laps. Clouden won't get another run in. So everybody finishing. Tobias is done. Toth stays P14. Who's that
Beasley
coming to the
go-
line? That's Beasley. Dean will be going live. So you go. If you want to watch Dean's testing, go over to Dean Wasaki on Twitch. Give him a follow. As well as on Orthodub 16. He's streaming at the moment. To see drivers' POVs. Who else is near the line? 34. Is he going to get another lap time in Michael Harris? Yes.
Should do from there.
Is
Shouldn't he?
Eckholt?
Echo? Possibly not.
No,
Two,
Eckholt will
one,
not.
No.
Eckholt will not, so he does not improve. So the man who will be the first one to finish is Dan Davis. Now let's see what's going to happen here. Be great to see Dean back out there for the Endurance Series on Saturday. See if his TV turns off.
Let's hope his TV doesn't turn
exactly.
off or his butt go through the rig.
Here comes Dan Davis to the line. Stays P6, your championship leader. Now overtaker. No pressure from Eckholt or Clouden. Only Harris will be giving him some pressure at the moment. Is he up on his time? He needs very little, PN, to go up onto that front row of the grid and take his 25th pole, which will mean picture time. It's been a while. We thought it's not as long as Gary's. Gary's took an eternity.
Gary
Got
took-
it in the last GT4 season we done. Here comes overtaker. Not good enough!
No. No. It eludes him still. Here come Ben.
Yeah, Ben, couple of hundreds, puts him ahead of Sky Shuttlemeyer. A tenth will put him ahead of Dan Davis. If he can find more, it could be on the front row. Where will it put Ben? He goes P6, knocks Dan down another spot. Toth Saber needs a huge qualifying here.
He needs Monza.
Good evening to DJ Phil. 14th place for him, 17.
Beasley.
That is Richard Beasley. Bails. He's bailed.
Bales.
Car 34 of Harris on an invalid lap, it says.
But is it because it would stop the session by now if it was?
No, because Beasley's coming to the pits.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't do that.
Oh, that's a wiggle. That's scrapped. Yeah. Harris has bailed.
So there then is your qualifying. It is a pole position for Eccles. Championship leader Dan Davis is P7. Evening to DJ Phil, who says go down Davis for the win. I presume he means Dan Davis for the win. We'll both fit right in, is my guess. I'm a jockey in comparison to the rest. No blubber, no racing. Love that from P. Williams. Dan Davis, so down in P7. Championship leader, down the order. That isn't the qualifying session he would have wanted.
Yeah. Well, I've got a nice gut here which I can pick up. Love handles, they're called. I believe.
Tobias Hoffer down in 16th. As we just input in the data. Sky Shuttlemeyer got 8th in the end. Insert coin was 9th. Good qualifying for the Honda. I'd say it's meant to be a car that struggles the most around here. Toth Saber 14th place. Mustangs looked alright. Mustangs not looked too bad. Ben's P6. Good qualifying from Ben. Michael Eckholt, though, his first ever pole position here at SimPlay Motorsport. And another pole position for the McLaren. But what we did get, though, was another win for the Lamborghini. So in terms of the car statistics, then, Lamborghini took its 69th race win in total here at SimPlay Motorsport. Who was on the podium? Lamborghini and McLaren and BMW. So McLaren 232 podiums, Lamborghini 214 podiums, BMW now 133. The BMW now has the same amount of podiums as the Bentley. But we haven't got any Bentleys at the moment. In terms then of Dan Davis, that was race win number 82. Podium number 188. Joe Bates goes equal with myself on 130 podiums. And Clouden now moves on to... Where's Jamal Clouden? He's got to be up this list somewhere. Can't see him on this list of podiums. Was he further down than I thought? No, there he is. He's on 6 podiums himself. I assume something's tickling PN in the chat. Kyle, I suck at this track, he says. P. Williams, Jamal for me tonight. Let's go Sky, says Tracy. Paul Williams, you shouldn't trademark no wasty, no racy. Nah, you've got to imagine saying that with Paddy McGuinness's kind of accent, ain't you?
No wasty.
No wasty, no racy.
No racy.
Good luck, guys, says Tank. Vorta Racing, Greasy Bandits Racing, let's go team. And PN giving it the lols in the chat.
Well, yeah, that might say no wasty, no racy. It's brilliant. When I sit down, the earth shakes. That might be why I had... Yeah.
Weighed myself in the hospital the other day.
Funny, man.
The best thing was... Do you want to know the funny thing about it? I stood on the scales, it came up saying error. I was like, whoops. Didn't realise that you had to just tap the scales to sort of like wake them up first before you stand on them. I went on, it just said error. Thought that's how, yep, there we go. That's how big I am. Too big for hospital scales. No, I think it come at 17 stone or something.
I'm a bit lighter than that now.
6'2", 17 stone. Pure muscle, can we just state?
I put pure muscle apart from the gut.
Either way,
that like sugary things and alcohol-y things.
it's probably these like nice crisps and ice creams that don't help.
No, they don't help.
Either way, Petey, who's going to win this race?
Taker. I think Taker.
43 degrees track temp. Let's see how where it goes up. I need to have a word with Harris. Shocking, Mike Matthews. You might be onto something there. It was racing and eating, but not necessarily in that order. There we go. Right, you're going Overtaker. I'm going to go Clouden. Fancy a Clouden win. Has he had a win this season, Jamal?
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Grand Touch, I think. I can't remember. My memory's
He won his first race. Yeah, he's won his first race this year. Where was it? It was the second race of Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, Tracy's yelling at his... yelling in the next room, former boy. Or may
Go
or may
on,
not
Tracy.
be.
Go on, Tracy.
More like muscle.
I might put him in a time. I might do what he does to Employer and put him in a timeout. See how he likes it. Yeah. Outrageous.
I miss Palava. He's probably a bit busy though.
Love that from Diz. Just before we get racing, Diz says that he just about passed his medical BMI test for FBR. A good few weeks of Mackey's to prepare. Fury's been disconnected. Joe, get yourself back in. If you can, you may have a 2-minute wait time and then be able to start the race, but at least you will be back in, hopefully for yourself.
And you
buddy.
avoid the carnage.
And you probably will avoid the carnage. Yeah, well, there is only 17 cars now, so we do lose Joe. T King in the chat. Ty getting votes in for. And here we go then. We are getting underway. It is Eckholt versus Taker. It is a McLaren 1, 2, 3.
I will be having a McDonald's on Sunday morning.
And we are for round 12. Green and go here at Paul Ricard. Fury has just got himself back in time. He might be able to get underway at the exact start. And Clouden's already pulling to the racing line. Overtaker in the slipstream of Michael Eckholt to try and follow himself through. And that is late on the brakes from Overtaker, flicking up a few cones. Everybody looks like they're through relatively cleanly so far. It is a good getaway from all, as it is all nice and clean. And down the first part of the straight they come. Great start though from Eckholt, and Overtaker from Clouden. Harris has stuck with them. Bit of a gap back to Richard Beasley. Ben's coming under pressure from Dan around the outside. These two is battling it out at Thruxton. Clouden now loses the rear, and Eckholt just gone around. I think he... Oh, no, he hasn't. No, he must have just lost the rear slightly. And now Ben's going side by side with Sky Schundelmeyer coming down the straight. So Joe in the pits. He'll have a wait to get back out. But it is now Eckholt from Overtaker from Harris. Jamal Clouden with Richard Beasley all over the back of that McLaren. 1 hour's worth of racing. The pit window opens at that 37.5 minute mark. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do from there. And so far, if you are Jamal Clouden, it wasn't the best of getaways in terms of first couple of corners. Richard Beasley's not able to have a look. Ben's up the inside of Sky Schundelmeyer going into the right-hander. Who's got the better minerals there? Sky's wide. Sky is very wide. That's going to allow Insert Coin and T King possibly through as Sky rejoins gradually. Insert Coin definitely through, but T King couldn't get the move done. Gary's 11th, Ingrace 12th. Then it is Toth from Tobias, from Ramey, from Kyle, from Dennis. Fury obviously having that long patient wait, but he'll be able to go shortly. Harris up to P3, then Clouden's got to try and get back on the rear of him, but Richard Beasley, PN, after a very, very clean start here.
Yeah, something happened to Dennis. I don't know what happened to Dennis, but he's back of the pack right now by a few seconds, actually. 14 from Kyle, who said earlier in the chat that he's struggling here.
Yeah, struggling at this circuit. Not really been a BMW track these last two. So over the line then, it is Eckholt who leads. This is Sky Schundelmeyer on the back of Insert Coin, having a look into turn 1. Can't do anything about that. You've got Gary Leach as well on the back of King. Then it's Ian Gray with Toth Saber, Tobias Hoffer, Ramey Fernie. Then it is Kyle and Dennis Newman just coming down the straight now, as Fury is out the pits and Joe Bates will be into this race. But the top three kind of just gapping each other a little bit, and Richard Beasley still still putting... Oh, twitch from Harris here. That's going to hurt him in terms of Clouden catching him.
Yeah, and 43 degree track temp now.
Yeah, the track temp may still get hotter as this race goes on. The time on the circuit at the moment is just a little after 1 o'clock. And Richard Beasley trying to use that slipstream. Dan Davis can't really stick with this top 5 pack, can he, at the moment, Bien? He's just struggling out there in terms of sticking with him. He's under a second, but just cannot get close enough.
It's just cars are heavier of fuel this time, and you got to think, do you change tyres? Yes.
Sky. Sorry, Bien. Sky's just gone up the inside of Insert Coin. King's got Gary looking up the inside of him now. Gary bouncing all over the curb, and a hop, skip and a jump. Up the inside he goes. Good evening to Laura in the chat. Fury's mum supporting Fury on. Ian Gray. So Travis King loses out to Gary Leach. Gary's now on the back of what looks to be Insert Coin. Yes, it is. And it's Ian Gray, Toth Saber, Tobias Hoffer. Ramey's got ahead of Tobias. Kyle's with him. And then Dennis Newman and the BMW's Paul Harris all not having a very good night. But Eccles, fastest lap, defending from overtaker early. Harris goes with. Cloudon's on the rear of Michael Harris here. Down the start straight. And Dan's just dropped over that second mark now. So Jamal Cloudon looking.
No, as I say, the conversation between Diz and Williams at the moment. They don't mention Jedi. Let's not mention the Acolyte.
Well, here comes Jamal Cloudon on the back of Harris. He's taking Richard Beasley with him. Dan just cannot stick with his top 5 pack.
No, he's fallen away, and Overtaker is sniffing exhaust fumes from Eccles McLaren right now. And Dan is dropping away, isn't he? He's got Ben. I think Ben's going to probably get him, like they did at Thruxton.
Possibly so, yeah. When Ben nicked that lap time off of Dan at Thruxton, it's going to be interesting if Ben can get a little bit closer. Jamal Cloudon, though, right up the wing of Michael Harris here, coming down the back straight. Is he going to pull out and have a look up the inside? He might do just at this right-hander. Is he close enough? He's going to go alongside now. Here comes Jamal Cloudon. Has he got enough of a car alongside? No. Harris keeps that spot. Richard Beasley watching on in the background. Dan Davis very, very wide there, as was Ben in the background. Insert Coin trying to hunt down Sky Schundelmeyer. And then there's Gary Leach down the order as well. Look, we've got King in a second of Gary. Ian Gray within a second of King. Toth within a second of Ian Gray. Bit of a gap back to Ramey. Tobias Hoffer trying to put Ramey under some pressure.
Yeah, you just don't really want to run wide here, because that paint is abrasive as anything.
It's like sandpaper, the blue part of the circuit. Less rough than the red part. It is like sandpaper.
And at these temperatures, that would just destroy your
We saw
tyres.
that Tim Ventick yesterday had a few spins around this circuit, and that's what possibly ruined his tyres in the first stint. 31 people watching. Guys, girls, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help the channel out as we fastly approach. We've just hit 700 subscribers, so now the next goal is 800. And obviously Joe Bates came into the party late, so he's a lap down on the field, apart from Dennis Newman.
Apart from Dennis Newman. But Joe's actually pulling away from Dennis.
Yeah, he's gapping Dennis, so see what he could do in this race. Harris still ahead of Cloudon. Overtaker's got up the rear wing of Eccles here, and Ben's on the back of Dan. So Dan could lose out to a few of his championship rivals here, Pian.
Yep, and flying solo again this week, so he's got to maximise as many points as he can. And for a better drop score. Whatever's worth scoring then will be removed.
So here comes Eccles, Overtaker, Harris, Cloudon. Richard Beasley on the back of Cloudon now, Pian. Going to be an interesting one to see if Richard Beasley can get past him.
Ben's having a look down the inside of Dan.
He is indeed. Ben looking for the overtake on Dan Davis. Going to look up the inside of the left-hander. And he's got it done before the corner. Dan's going to yield that position. He's going to run a little wide, is Ben. Manages to keep it within the limits. And he's got ahead now of Dan Davis. And Cloudon's got Harris.
Yeah, Cloudon's got Harris, and that's more points that Dan's losing now.
So Cloudon passes Harris, and Dan loses out to Ben. When will Sky Schundelmeyer be on the back? Richard Beasley gets past Harris as well. So Dan's championship rivals all ahead. And Sky Schundelmeyer now will be looking to head after Dan. Insert Coin can't keep with him. Gary's not been able to catch him. Then it's Travis King. Ian Gray close behind Toth Saber. Tobias Hoffer is now behind Kyle, but they've both passed Ramey Fernie. And then it's Dennis Newman at the back. Not sure what happened to him at the start of this race. Joseph Bates running in P18. And he's actually gaining on the back of car 43 of Smoky Devil. Overtaker, though, still close once again to Michael Eckholt. Struggled in these warm temperatures, he said, this week, but he's looking all right value for his money at the moment.
Yeah. Do you know what will get rid of these warm temperatures? A little bit of rain. That'd be nice.
I bet Overtaker would be screaming for a shower or two.
Or at least a little bit of cloud cover, even, just to bring the temperatures down.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be enjoying a little bit of cover here.
Because there's not even really any trees close to the track in places.
No, it's just open. It's just open, so yeah, Overtaker's got to try and keep these tyres under control, and the track may get a little bit warmer as we get to the end of this race. Beasley has some rotten luck this season. If he fell into a barrel, he'd come out sucking his thumb. Yes, he would. I'm not going to repeat what the barrel is full of, but I
got a feeling what it was.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel a right one.
Yeah. King's gaining on Gary. He's taking Ian Gray with him. Dan's sticking with Ben. That gap's half a second. Ben now, all of a sudden, look, the McLaren's really good round here because Ben is on the back of Michael Harris. So is this Dan's turn to attack a BMW that might just be struggling a little bit? Sky Sundermeyer not yet got close enough. Overtaker's lost a bit of time this lap as well. But Richard Beasley has had some rotten luck, hasn't he, this season? Yeah. And is due a bit of good fortune.
He is, and the golf-coloured Ferrari. I wonder how hard Harris fought him, to be honest, and he just yielded to let the faster car through. We've just lost somebody.
We have.
Who have we just lost? I just saw this shorter.
Joe's still there. So's Dennis Ramey. Kyle. We've lost Kyle.
We've lost Kyle.
So hopefully Kyle can get back in. But at the minute, it is the Ben and Dan Davis fight that is the closest one on circuit.
Yep. So that's another position gain by Joe. He's really caught Smokey. He has.
Yeah, I say that's another place for Joe. Joe's, got to hope that even if Ben comes in, I think Ben will have that 2-minute wait. So for Joe, it's
Kyle.
Another place. It's Kyle, sorry, it's another place for Joe.
Dan's in the slipstream of Ben. Ben's slowing to the inside to defend. And the time on the scoring board's in the way now. I can't see what's happening.
Yeah, Ben's defending the inside line, and Dan going to yield. No, he's not. He's going to stick it around the outside of Ben. These two went tooth and nail at Thruxton. And they're doing it again. This time they get to be on the same circuit as each other.
And not chasing lap times. As the saying is. Where are we? Oh, Overtaker's nearly a second behind Eckholt.
Yeah, he's lost a bit of time, hasn't he? I'm just looking down the list. Ian Gray's pretty close to King, but these two kind of ebbed and flowed. The gap's opened and closed. Not sure where Kyle is. Hopefully Kyle can get himself back in.
Yeah, hopefully he can, because and then finish throughout the race. Yeah, you're going to be last, but it's still points. It's
points. Points mean prizes at the end of the day, like we say.
Apart from on your driving licence. I don't mean a prize then. That's the only place you don't want points.
Paul Williams has just said, not sure how true this is, but I'm sure Paul Ricard has 167 combinations, which might explain why there's so many lines around the track. The lines are actually, the blue and red lines are like sandpaper and really scrub up the tyres. Ian Gray's now right on the back of King. So this is going to be an interesting one here, PN, isn't it? It's going to be Ian Gray.
And King's on the back of Gary.
Yeah, and Ian Gray's done well this season so far, hasn't he? He's made that step up and he's done really well.
Well, yeah, going in the pro is an eye-opener. Oh, I'll never know. Unless there's a lot of success ballast for people. Mine's built in. Again.
So Michael Eckholt currently with the fastest lap of the race at this stage in the game.
Yep,
so far good to see.
10 minutes until the window open.
Yeah, there is just under 10 minutes, you're right, till that window does open. Dennis Newman is 14 seconds off the back of Remy Finney, so his BMW's got nothing. Joe's a lap down, is allowed to unlap himself technically over Smoky Devil.
And
can he do
Smokey
so?
might as well not fight you. Might as well just let him through.
Yeah.
You can see he's faster.
Yeah, he's a lap down. You can see he's faster. Why not just let him through and go from there and start to rebuild and just go again, basically. Let Smokey try and come back in this race. Obviously, they've gained a place due to Kyle disconnecting. Hopefully, Kyle does get back in to score points. Yeah, going to be an interesting one to see. Oh, Ramey's had a moment. Ramey has had a moment.
Yep.
So that's allowed Joe through. Obviously, it's not for place, but it's another car that Joe could possibly try and clear. Ben's now dropped Dan by a second.
Is Dan starting to struggle? Maybe?
Possibly letting them tyres cool down, depending. Yeah, track limits possibly a thing. Maybe letting the tyres, just going through a bit of a heat cycle. Who knows at this stage of the game?
What about funny phase? We all seem to get...
gone quiet. Can hear Matt better. I'm not sure if it's just me. I will turn PN up a little bit. Don't know if anything has happened to the stream. Anybody else, just let us know if anything has happened. But everything on the stream looks like it's working A-OK at the moment. Either way...
No, I haven't accidentally hit the mute button on the controller.
No, I've still been able to hear you. Either way, Harris trying to close down that gap to Richard Beasley. It's all just a little spread out at the minute, apart from this Gary Leach, T King and Ian Gray fight. 3/10 in it between Ian Gray and Travis King here. Travis King 7/10 off the back of Gary. Now, we've said last night that the Porsche struggles in a straight line. But yeah.
It's going to a circle that doesn't really have a straight next week in Laguna.
Oh. The start one, I suppose you can kind of class.
It's not really straight, though.
No, but you're flat out, aren't you? You're not, it's like being down this back straight. You're still flat out. It's, still a part of the circuit you're going to gain. Tony says it's all fine to Chris. I'm not sure if it is your end, buddy. Mike says all the same as us. Chris, don't know if it's your end, bud. Sorry, PN, go on.
No, I just lost my train of thought. That happens. Don't look like Kyle's making any attempt to come back.
Might not be able to. If his internet's gone, it might not be coming back for himself. So,
and if he's got no internet, he can't get onto Discord either.
Exactly.
Unless you've got 4G or 5G, but I barely have that.
Right, King's on the back of Gary Leach. It's the closest fight on track at the minute. Harris back under a second to Richard Beasley. Dan down in 7th is huge at the moment, because what that means is Clouden, Beasley and Harris are all going to score massively, as is Eccles, as is Overtaker. Where is Eccles in the championship? He is currently 17th, 323 points behind. Maybe not.
Gray had a little bit of a sniff at King into the first corner, but nothing come off it. But King is right on the back of Kirby as they go through this section here.
Turn 3, 4 and into turn 5. And Joe's a lap down on the field, as we said. He got disconnected and come back in at the start of the race.
But he's absolutely flying. He does that. He's absolutely flying.
He is. He is at the minute. Well,
he's there 4 tenths.
Where is Joe? Joe's coming onto the back straight. Harris within 4 tenths will go to that battle a moment. See what he's going to do over Richard Beasley. Ben has dropped down. That's 2.1 seconds. Sky's not made inroads on Dan, though. Clouden's on the back of Overtaker, so that's no longer a second.
Ben was off the road. Yeah, Ben's been off the road. So that's got to heat the tyres up, running over that blue paint.
Yeah, it is. Taker now coming under pressure from Clouden. So is this where Overtaker's tyres just starting to maybe get a little warm?
Yeah, that's not a second time in the
no, it's not.
Board. That's about a 10th or 2. Clouden fancies another race win, though.
2.6 off the back of Eccles, and this is now just going to hurt his tyres a little bit, being in the dirty air of Overtaker. Down the start straight they come. Pit window opens in about 5 minutes' time. He's had a look, did Clouden there. It's a McLaren 1-2-3 at the moment.
Yep. I think the 650S needs to make a appearance more.
Jeez, yeah. Where's Joe? Joe's now gaining on the back of Tobias Hoffer.
Yeah.
Laura in the chat. He's loving the fact he can use the steering wheel and pedals again. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Something to give him a little pick me up. But he's at the minute well in front of Smokey Devil, of Ramy Fernie. Sorry, is Joseph Bates. So for Joe here, he's got a huge opportunity, PN, to really, pull a gap over him and Dennis Newman, and try and, unlap himself in this race.
Yeah, so he'd probably just go long into the pit window as well, to be honest. Or go early and have fresher rubber to catch. We'll find out in about 4 minutes.
It's going to be an interesting one to see what he does then, as this is Clouden still on the back of Overtaker. We've also got Richard Beasley with Harris on the back of him. Dan Davis has got past Ben somewhere.
He has Ben made another mistake?
So not sure what's happened there, but Dan's got past Ben. Gary Leach has still got King. In fact, Gary Leach is defending from King in towards the right-hander.
Overtaker's defending.
Oh, King a little sideways through the right-hander. That's going to lose momentum, and Overtaker defending from Clouden then. So Clouden putting the pressure on now.
Turning up the wick to make it even hotter out there. Where did that come from? That was all. Yeah, it's a matter of time, I reckon, before Clouden may get past Taker.
Oh, 100%. 100% without a shadow of a doubt. It's a matter of time. Down the start straight he comes. Is he going to pull out and have a look? He does pull out and have a look. It's only a look, though. Harris getting close as well. Sorry, Pian.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like Taker's pace is dropping, and it's pushing them back into the hands of the FBR boys.
Now, I'm not sure what's happened to King. He was a 10th behind Gary. He's now 7/10 off the back of Ian Gray. So Gray's got another place. Back to the Overtaker Clouden fight. And it is pushing him back into Richard Beasley. But it's not really pushing them into the back of Dan, is it? Because Dan, yes, he's got past Ben. Maybe looked after his tyres a little earlier in the stint than others. But he's not able to gain on these front five.
Yeah, he's just... This phase of the race, maybe, but Lambo's just not happy.
Yeah, possibly so. Possibly so.
I'll tell you what, at least it's not flooded. The second time we came here, in the second season, when we had weather enabled.
Oh, when it was flooded. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
That time around. So a few gaps opening up, 39.5 minutes, 2 minutes till the pit window. But are we going to see any pit runners? Clouden goes wide, Richard Beasley goes very wide. And Dan Davis still a little behind. Ben's 1.4 behind him. Sky's brought that gap down to Ben a little bit. Gray still on the back of Gary with King and Saber Hoffer, Fury's got past. Joe Bates has got past Tobias Hoffer now, so making progress. If you look at the graphic, there is Joe, the red dot on the track map. Look at the two grey dots. I haven't even gone through sector 2 yet. So Joe, close to being, a full sector, is at least half a sector ahead of Dennis Newman.
Yes. The question is when you pit? I had to stretch then, sorry.
Yeah, when do you pit? Do you go as long as possible? Will Dan go as long as possible? Clouden has a look, nothing more than that. What about Michael Harris? The switcheroo has happened at Team FBR. Harris ahead of Beasley now.
Yeah, but maybe the Beamer's coming back to life.
Yeah, did Harris let his tyres cool down a little bit? As Ian Gray and King resume their battle with Gary Leach. But Clouden really close to Overtaker in this one. Really close.
Personally, if I was Clouden, I'd be thinking of pitting as soon as that window opens to try to jump Overtaker.
Just depends all on the tyres, doesn't it? I suppose that's going to be the big problem.
Yeah. But we've got... Well, that will open in 20 seconds, the pit window.
Yeah, it is. So the pit window will open by the time the first car goes through. And Joe now will be closing up on the back of Saber, who's actually gaining on the back of King, Gray and Leach, as Clouden having a look once more on Overtaker, doesn't do anything about it. What about Harris? Can't do anything there. Dean's starting to feel it. I assume that he's on about his a bit of testing or whatever. What car are you testing, Dean? Are you just in a public lobby, single player? What are you testing? There's Clouden now racing Overtaker hard. And Overtaker not defending too hard at the moment. but just putting his car in a place where Cloudon's got to think about it.
Yep. Just precisely the right point. But to stop Cloudon making the move.
Taker's, one-time champion. He's very experienced, but Cloudon's going to have a look into the final corner. Door open. Is that going to compromise a bit of his run? Cloudon versus Overtaker here down the start-finish straight. Still side by side. Overtaker will have that inside line for the next part of the circuit. And I believe Cloudon may have to yield this one unless he can hang it around the outside. Down the start straight, still equally side by side together. And now Overtaker still having it round side by side with Cloudon, who bounces over the curb, has a bit of a slide and a wiggle. Overtaker does well not to hit the rear, and they're still together at the moment.
But this move's not done yet.
It's not done yet, and Taker's still there, and now has to back out of that. Cloudon's gone wide. Yeah, and now that's going to compromise his run at his part of the circuit. In Dean's BMW, what BMW in, the M4 or the M6? Ben needs a pit window to open. His tyres are cooked, says Chris in the chat. What lap times are they doing? Not quite sure at the moment. 55s, I do believe, as they are still PN, side by side. Ben is in the pits.
And they are holding each other up because Harris is with them.
And Beasley.
Cloudon's still hanging on the inside.
And here comes Harris in the background. On the back of two McLarens. He's going to yield into this corner, you'd imagine. Can Overtaker hanging around the outside. He's going to try. He's going to go very wide, though. Kicks up the cones. Has Overtaker just lost out to Michael Harris? No, he hasn't. Manages to hang on in there. But wow, what racing that was from Cloudon and Overtaker.
That was half a lap of side by side.
Mega.
I wonder if Taker's tyres are gone.
Dean's in the M4, he says. I did look on Dean's stream earlier. It said he was in the M6. And Dean, you are in the M6. Just turned your stream back on, buddy. I wonder if Dean's been racing the M... No, he's been racing the M4. I'm sure about it. But you are in the M6, it says, Dean. Just turned your stream on.
Well, yeah, he has been in the M4, because if not, we've joined the Sutty B, and they're
no, I mean in the normal series. He's in the same colours, but for his normal series, but he is in the M4, not the M6, not the M4. So he's in the older version of the BMW, not the newer one.
Well, Gray and King. Gray's just yielded to let King through, and not fight him.
Interesting. And look who's catching them two in the background, by the way.
Fury.
Joe Bates is catching them. So,
yeah. Oh, what would have been if his internet didn't drop again?
Well, he qualified 10th, so I'd imagine he'd have probably been ahead of Gary and a few others. We've got Harris on the back of Overtaker now. This is coming down the back straight. So where is Joe? Just coming towards Sector 1.
Harris is right up the exhaust pipes of Overtaker. Overtaker defends the inside line. Have they found a few more ponies in the BMW? Harris is in front.
Harris is in front of Overtaker. Richard Beasley very wide as well. So that is interesting to see. Overtaker's very wide. I wonder if his tyres have gone.
Yeah, wow.
So I wonder if Overtaker's tyres have just started to go. Ramy Fernie's now in the pits. This could allow Joe to get close. What is the pit stop time for a loss here with tyre change?
I don't know. And you think Overtaker's tyres might be struggling because he's on pad.
Yeah, possibly so. Possibly so.
And being on pad, you don't quite have the smoothness as you can have on a wheel.
Harris on the back of Cloudon as well. So maybe the BMW's just looked after its tyres a little better than the
Smokies.
Than the McLaren, sorry. Paul Ricard, time lost with a tyre change, 62 seconds. You lose just over half a lap in the pits.
Joe's just not in front of Saba.
So Joe's passed another car as well then.
But now we'll be getting blue flags and the Mustang's faster in a straight line.
Yeah, but if Joe can pull away, That's where Joe's going to benefit. Let's go down to Joe. He's 83 seconds behind Smokey, so that's going to be the bonus. Now, Joe, because he's just unlapped himself, will have to prove that he can pull away from Saber. So Gray's in the pits. Harris is just losing out a little bit to Clouden. Taker's got Richard Beasley right up the back of him. Let's stay on board Overtaker at the moment.
Okay. Let's see what Beasley does in the
Harris actually getting a little bit closer to Clouden here. Eckholt, by the way, 6 seconds up the road, not been in trouble since Overtaker early in the race, and he's just cruising at the minute. Clouden looks like he's wider than Harris. Harris able to carry the speed through a little more, right up the rear wing of Clouden now. Dan Davies just cannot stick with the top 5. And Ian Gray into the pits, like you've just said. He's going to lose out to Ben at the moment, who's coming round the corner. Where is Ramey? Car 43. Can't quite see where Ramey is on the track map at the moment. Gray's just gone green.
Fernie is... I think he's in the group coming up. I believe...
Yeah, he is. He's just ahead of Insert Coin. You can see the 43 just ahead of Insert Coin. But look at this trail of 4.
Taker just did a late call to the pits. But...
Overtaker's in. Dan stays out. Sky is in. Yeah, there was Ramey just behind him. Here comes Insert Coin. Joe's only 19 seconds behind Ramey now. I know Joe's got to pit. But has this just put Joe in a better position in this race to maybe catch Ramey Fernie with his pace at the minute?
Yeah, he's had to let Saber back through. Or does Joe now pit early-ish and put a set of fresh Pirellis on?
Joe's stuck between a rock and a hard place, isn't he? Wants to unlap himself and move on, but Saber, has to have that call, and if you're not able to pull away, you've got to let Saber back through. So Overtaker into the pits. This is going to be interesting.
It is. See how long Sky's also in the pits, as is King.
We are halfway through.
And we're halfway there.
Halfway through the race, we are going to end the pole there.
Taker's pit stall is roughly halfway down the pit lane as well.
Yeah, he's done. Sky's done. So Taker's just off the limiter now. That was Dennis Newman going past. So 140 of Ben is quite the way behind at the moment. But Ben obviously had cooked his tyres. So that may be why Dan got past him. Harris has got ahead of Clouden. I don't know where he's done that, but Harris has got ahead of Clouden. Has Clouden gone a little wide through the right-hander again?
Are the McLarens cooking their tyres quicker than the BM?
Possibly so. Well, everybody bar Eckholt, because he's still pulling away.
But Eckholt's not battling anyone, is he? He's on his own.
Exactly. Dan's just not able to close this gap as well while these are fighting. He's still just under 5 seconds behind.
Yeah, but Eckholt's in the pits.
Clouden's coming in.
So is the BM better on tyres than the McLaren?
Possibly so. Harris will lead this race from Richard Beasley from Dan Davis then. Interesting. Insert Coin stays out as well.
Joe's back in front of Saber, by the way.
So Joe's got back ahead.
That's about half a second, maybe 7/10 of a second clear there.
Yeah, Joe's got well in front, hasn't he, of Saber at the moment. There's Overtaker, 10 seconds clear of Sky Schundelmeyer. Ben is currently third, or 13th, sorry, third of the pit runners. And it's Travis King. He's still ahead of Ian Gray. Then it's Ramey. Ramey's coming down towards the first sector. Joe's 19 seconds behind him. But Joe is obviously still to pit and will lose about 50 seconds, 54 seconds in the pits.
Eckholt's got a really good pit stall. He's right at the bottom of the pit lane.
Same as Dan, right by the front.
Clouden's about there as well. So they've all got brilliant pit stops.
Yeah, Chris saying that the McLaren seems to be overheating the tyres. Eckholt is away. Clouden still not moving just yet. Gary also pitted. Clouden is now away. Where's Michael Harris? Back end of the circuit. So Chris confirming that the McLaren, isn't that good on its tyres. And this is going to be an interesting race to watch. Michael Harris leads from Richard Beasley. Dan Davis P3 from Insert Cointoff. Saber P5 with Tobias Hoffer 6th. Michael Eckholt 7th. Your net race leader. Then it's Jamal Clouden from Gary Leach. From Dennis Newman. Then Overtaker right up the rear wing of Dennis Newman. Dennis yet to pit. And look, that goes very deep and wide and allows Overtaker to get through. He's not going to bother holding him up. So after Overtaker, it's now Dennis. Then I believe it is Jamal Clouden. There he is, yeah. Then it is...
And it's about 5-second
then
gap.
it is Sky Schundelmeyer. Then I believe it is Ben. Then is it King? No, then it's Gary, who's managed to gap King and Gray quite the margin. Then it's Ramey. Then it's Joe. Joe now 18.9 behind.
But Joe's got to pit. Beasley's in.
Richard Beasley is into the pits. Dan still going long. Insert Coin going long. What will Toth Saber do? So the next person for Joe to catch is Insert Coin. Insert Coin's just crossed the line. Joe's coming to the final corner now. Unless Joe pits. If I was Joe, pitting wouldn't probably be the worst option. Toth Saber, though, what is he going to do?
He's got to do it soon.
He's going to pull
4
into
minutes.
the pit lane. Tobias Hoffer, he's going to stay out on track. And it's just Dennis Newman then, who is behind now. Overtaker. Clouden gaining on him now. Great racing tonight, Pian. Really good racing.
It is, yeah. Well, what we've seen, we haven't seen everything because you can't. We don't have multiple monitors with everyone's streams up, unfortunately. Newman is pitting. He's pulled over.
Chris in the chat saying that Ben pitting earlier. I wonder how his tyres are. His tyres will last in the last few minutes of the race. Well, the track is now up to 44 degrees track temp. Now, Dennis Newman in the pits. Joe is coming onto the back straight. Joe could easily be ahead of Dennis Newman for position. Joe obviously having to pit here. With Dennis Newman struggling, Joe being able to pull away, that could be absolutely huge. King has got Gray right behind him with 25 minutes left. There's Toth Saber in the pits as well. So Richard Beasley through. Overtaker will be able to get through, as will all these drivers ahead of Toth Saber at the moment. In fact, Overtaker jumped Richard Beasley in the pits.
Yeah. Well, I think they've changed tyres, Beasley and Clouden. I don't think Taker has.
That's a bold strategy.
Bold, but they cool down a bit in the pit lane.
Yeah, they do, but it's that wear, isn't it? It's not necessarily the temperature, it's the battering they've had.
They've had more than a batter, and they've been thoroughly roasted around here. Harris is in.
Harris in. Dan Davis
in.
also in. What about Insert Coin? He's coming into the pits. Tobias Hoffer and Joe left to pit. Dennis Newman has just left the pit lane. Fury not quite at the end of the circuit.
In.
Neither is Ramey Fernie. So them two come out. In fact, Dennis Newman's actually got a good jump over Ramey Fernie there. Coin was in. What about Tobias Hoffer? He's coming towards the final corner. Joe's going to have to pit this lap.
It's got to be this lap because you're
and
not
Joe
get
doesn't pit this lap.
Ooh, Joe's pushing it.
That's risky.
That is risky.
Tobias,
all he's got to do is cross that line.
Yeah, that is true. Tobias Hoffer does come into the pit lane. So here comes Eckholt. Has Harris been stationary? Yes, he is. So is Dan. Eckholt through the final corner. He had a 7-second gap, let's not forget. Then it's Overtaker, who's Overtaker's only 5 seconds behind Eckholt. I think Eckholt chased tyres and Overtaker didn't. Insert Coin dropped before Dan Davis.
So there's...
Dan's now dropped. He's going to come out of Insert Coin. There's Harris. There goes Richard Beasley. Where's Clouden? Clouden's got ahead of Dan. Where's Sky? Sky does not get ahead of Dan Davis. In fact, Sky does not get ahead of Dan Davis. So yeah.
No.
So interesting here. Did Overtaker not change tyres?
Beginning to think it, because he was dropping pace rapidly.
Joe
Really
must
interesting.
be blowing at his phone here. At his screen, sort of giving it the old just to make sure he gets into the pits.
He will be, won't he? He'll be like
Mike's just said, if he spins or slides or anything, doesn't have the perfect lap, that'll be in with a penalty. He's last anyway, so is it possibly just the track time Joe's after?
It could be, yeah. He could be like, to hell with it, I'm going to be last on the road, because Carl's not come back, so that is a definite retirement.
Well, we don't know yet. Could be still be internet. His internet could have died.
Well, we'll find out when we have to do the ticket for him, won't we? Has Taker's pink McLaren's looking less pink with tire rubber all on the side of it.
Oh, Joe just missed it. Joe just missed it by a second. He missed it by a second. King is on the back, trying to get on the back of Grey Toth Saber. just 0.7 of a second ahead of Tobias Hoffer at the moment. But Overtaker's strategy seems to have worked so far, PN, but he's now got Harris and Beasley, who both jumped Clouden in the pits as well. Sorry, Beasley jumped both of them two in the pits. Dan Davies got closer to Clouden through the pit stop as well.
Yep.
So this is going to be interesting. Drive through for Toth Saber. Oh, that is more heartache for Joe because he could have caught him now.
He could have done, yeah, because that's 60 seconds roughly to lose. No, the drive-through was minus the 25 seconds for our minimum stop. So that'd be 35?
So time lost drive-through. Paul Ricard, 27 seconds.
Joe did make it. He's gone green.
Oh, he has gone green. So he did just make it.
He just made it.
Mike's saying just outside. I think Mike ought to rethink that because Joe did just make it. Yes, he's being lapped now by these guys, but Toth Saber in for his drive-through. And where's Ramey? Ramey's only in the final sector, so Joe did make the pits. Oh, just on the edge of it.
It must have been the slimmest part of this front splitter.
Wow.
That crossed that line.
Well, Joe gets through. Great to see this. Well done, Joe.
I bet you he's doing his breathing noises now. Really?
Yeah, he'll be sighing a bit of relief. Toth Saber then, so he's only going to lose 27 seconds to Joe. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Drive through clear for Toth Saber. So he's now coming out the pits. Toth has just lost out to Ramey and Dennis Newman. Nice one, Joe, says Tony, and Mike giving it the wow in the chat. Wow, indeed. Don't forget, if you like what you see here, hit that bell to be notified and hit the subscribe button if you are new, as well as give it a big old thumbs up. Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT plus 1 is the return of the next endurance race, the 3 hours of Imola. At 7 p.m. GMT plus 1 Tuesday night. If you want to sign up for GT4s, get signed up on the Discord because it is going to be a fantastic night of GT4 action. Dan Davies will be bringing you the action there from 8 p.m. GMT plus 1. Me and Dan Davies will be back in the commentary box next Wednesday for the GT3's Pro-Am, returning to Laguna Seca for the back half of the season, and then myself and PM Motorsport Phil Raiden will be back in the commentary box next Thursday evening. Nice one, Fury, says Laura. Bloody hell, that was close, says Chris, and that must have been less than a second left. Great lap, says Mike. And Michael Eckholt 5.6 out front. Richard Beasley 3 seconds behind Overtaker, and he's got Harris and Clouden hassling the back of him. 19 minutes to go.
Yeah, and it's definitely tuning in on Saturday, so you can see Benny Varga carry me in his backpack in the Jag. But it's okay though, because we drive a Jag. I hope Ben's watching and he heard that. That would be fantastic. And meanwhile, the battle for final podium spot is really heating up.
Really is. Really is. Just looking at the gap of King and Gray, that's 4/10. We're going to stick with this battle at the moment. Harris being able to be pulled away from Clouden by being in that slipstream of Beasley. Getting really close. His BMW set up really nicely tonight is Harris. Team FBR picking up some huge points tonight.
Yep. But next week Mike could be back.
He will. But the other thing as well, for the Drivers' Championship, these guys really picking up some points over that of Dan Davis, because Dan down in 6th hasn't had an answer in this second race for the top 5.
I think it was a case of win or bust for the sprint, wasn't it? Because he knew may only struggle.
Yeah, possibly
Track
so.
temp's just dropped a degree.
It has dropped a degree, so that's gone down a little bit. Ben's on the back of Insert Coin. Gray's got past King now, and we've got Ramey, Dennis Newman, and Toth Saber having a great little scrap. Joe's coming towards the top end of the circuit. There's a spinner. That is King. That is King, who's had a spin. Here comes Tobias Hoffer. He goes through. Dennis Newman not close enough. The two Mustangs slipstreaming each other down the back straight now to try and get close enough. And here we go. Here comes Toth Saber looking up the inside of Ramey Fernie. Dennis Newman's already gone defensively here. They're both making inroads on Dennis Newman as well. And Smokey Devil looks like he's trying to come into the middle of the circuit to defend from Toth. Toth backs off and tucks back in behind. Let's go to Insert Coin, who's got Ben right up the rear end. It's not done.
They're side by side going into the swoopy corner. And Toth's in front. I think Toth's done it. No, he's just bobbled and just speared to the right left.
Yeah, and
because I'm watching from Dennis.
Ramey Fernie comes back through. Toff trying to look up the inside, but Ramey will have that inside line for the final corner. Ben did pass insert coin. And Harris still on the back, just losing a little bit to Richard Beasley. Clouden as well, trying to stick with him. Overtaker's now losing out to Eckel, and these three are catching the Overtaker.
They are.
Oh, and it looks like we've missed Overtaker of the night there. Chris saying that Ben Overtaker of the night, so shame to have missed that one. But what a battle here. Dennis Newman still trying to defend from Ramey and Toth Saber, as well as Richard Beasley trying to attack Overtaker or get closer with Harris and Clouden coming at him. Joe is on the back straight. Where are these three? These three have an incident, and Joe all of a sudden gains a couple of places. Well done, Joe, for hanging on in there.
Joe's probably going to unlap himself from Gray, because that's the next car in front of him.
Well, he's unlapped himself from the 21 and the 81 of King and Hoffert. So, yeah, it is great. So he's on the road to unlap himself, but he's not got the time to really catch these boys, as the Ford Mustangs here having an immense fight. Harris in the slipstream now of his teammate, with Clouden with him. Gap 2.5 seconds overtaken to Beasley, and Harris going to look up the inside of Richard Beasley into Tier 1. No, thinks better of it. Back down to the Ford Mustang fight, with Dennis Newman just in front.
Oh, Harris clipped the curb in turn 2 and sideways. It's like, yes,
still in front of Clouden though. And here comes Salbert to the outside of Ramey Fernie. But it's the outside line of the right-hander. The Mustang's not able to close on the BMW with their horsepower. And Sauber trying to tuck underneath. That's a great move from Sauber. Has he got it done, though? Up the inside of Ramey Fernie. They make contact, and Sauber manages to just hang on to it.
Meanwhile, Clouden is really having a go at Harris now, nibbling at the rear bumper.
Back on board with Michael Harris and Jamal Clouden.
They were almost side by side before we got onto the back straight. As they head towards, I can't remember the corner name, but I've heard its name before. Obviously watching the GT World Challenge races here.
Oh, Clouden a little wide. He's got to be careful of them track limits now. They've lost out to Beasley. Beasley's also closed that gap down to Overtaker once more. Sky's not catching Dan at all at the moment.
Well, now the pressure's off Beasley a bit, because I think Harris's car's gone through that phase the BMW has.
Yeah, I'd completely agree with you.
Because the Bentley used to have the same phase. With
I've just gone on to Ramey Fernie. He's around, and Toth and Dennis are still going. And Ramey's around again. Them tyres must be absolutely screaming at him. Where's Joe? Back straight. He's unlapped himself from Gray. And Ramey Fernie carries on his way now.
Well, he can't afford to retire another race.
No, because that'll be a 25-point deduction to his championship. He's already lost 15 points as well. Piana, I'm just going to have to leave you with it for 2 seconds. Are we all watching the fight between Harris and Clouden?
Clouden's lost the rear and he's around. As I put the camera back to him so I can see what happens. So that's Dan now with another place on Clouden. So that's put to bed that battle. Harris now has no pressure from behind, so he can now chase his teammate once more. Beasley for the final podium spot. As I'm now trying to look for the next closest battle, which is Saber all over. You won't be able to see this because you've got Harris on, because Matt's had to step away briefly, but Saber is having a look. Whoa, he got really pinched in by Dennis Newman. That may be a track limit warning, to be honest, too. Tough. Trying this way and that way. Oh, them tyres are cooked. The car just does not want to grip. As any other battles on the track. King on Hoffer. King's on the back of Hoffer. One of the oldest cars in the game, Tobias Hoffer was in, and the BMW M6. Meanwhile, Saber is having another look at Newman. He's gone to the right. Newman's not really giving him much room there, not gonna lie. Toff cuts the corner a little bit, so that'll be another track limit warning, more likely. With 12 minutes of this race left, track limits may still be a thing in this race, and that's a 30-second time penalty. You may be lucky and get drive through, or you may be unlucky and get 30 seconds stop go.
We are back. So Clouden had a spin just as I went away there. We managed to catch the end of that one. That's put down up to P5 at the moment. Battle on though, King and Hoffer down the order at the minute. PN King right on the back of him.
Yeah, and also Sabo and Newman, and some very, very defensive driving by Newman onto Sabo. As King's looking at the back, but Dan did move up to 5th with Clouden losing the rear and probably cooking his tyres a little bit by doing that
that's
as well.
really going to hurt the tyres as well, isn't it, in the process here. We're currently watching King though on Hoffer at the moment. Let's just go back and check the Dennis Newman fight. And Smokey Devil's 12.5, Ramy Fernie's 12.5 seconds off the back of this pack. These two keep fighting like this, and if Ramy's tyres get worse, where's Joe? Currently over a sector behind, so probably not going to do it. But if them two have any more problems, or these three have any more problems, Joe could do it.
He could do it, yeah. I can't even see Joe's number going round. I think he's in front of Gray and behind Gary. Yeah, he's stuck in between Gary. He's stuck in between
She's had
Gray.
a big wiggle. Richard Beasley now, 1.8 to overtaker. So he's getting closer.
But the Mustang's definitely got the grunt, even on the M4.
Yeah, it has. It has, yeah. Mustang's doing really well. Doing really well. Great to see the M6 doing so well at the moment. Toth over Dennis Newman. Then these are the closest fights on the circuit so far. Toth can't... Go on, sorry.
Toth can't seem to get past Dennis, because Dennis is putting his car, really not giving Toth much room.
Ramy's just gained 7/10 over these two fighting, so that's going to really help Ramy Fernie out. Where's the leader? The leader's not far behind Ramy.
No. I was then looking at the mini-map then when you said that.
Here goes Toth. Surely Toth's got the run. Oh, Dennis has squeezed him off the road here.
Again.
Dennis is really squeezing Toth.
Giving him any room.
No, he's not. Toth cannot rejoin without going into the back, and he's bounced over the curbs. And he's into the wall, and you have to say that's from Dennis Newman.
Yeah. That
way too aggressive.
He should have moved to the right. He
did not leave a car's width. There, did Dennis Newman. Toth now has major damage. If Toth has to pit, that could allow Joe, by the way, who is all over the back of Gary Leach, while Richard Beasley's within a second of overtaker.
And King's right in the rear wing of the M6. Well, not literally.
Yeah, that's coming down into turn 1. Just going to go back to Richard Beasley. Coming through the right hander, not quite close enough yet. Clouden trying to gain back on Dan. That'll really help Dan. Clouden is Dan's closest rival. So Clouden may have just threw away some points here.
King's on looking down the inside from Hoffer. Nope, not there. Battle of time.
Dean felt really good. Great to see. And like you say, King all over the way. I feel for Saba in this race.
Yeah, I do. That was naughty by Dennis, not gonna lie. That was very naughty. He should have gave him room.
Right, what's the gap over the line? We're on to lap 26. Taker was 9/10. It's now 8/10. He's lost a tenth in that final sector. Dan to Clouden was 1.7. Has Clouden managed to close that gap? Dan on a sim rig that is falling apart on him a little bit. 1.7 still. So Clouden not close that gap too much. Now does King have a look up the inside of Tobias Hoffer?
No, I think the M6 still has a straight line speed.
Yeah, it does seem to at the moment. King's now having a look up the inside at the next part, and now he's through. That's a lovely move.
That is a lovely move. Sold for W a little bit, and past goes King. Whether McLaren is definitely better because of the corners and the air over McLaren has. Right, meanwhile, for battle for second, Beasley and Overtaker.
It's down to half a second, and Overtaker's already now just starting to weave down the straight, trying to break the slipstream. Now, at the minute, he's fine. You know, he's not breaking any rules at the moment. He's not blocking Richard Beasley as much as we don't like it. He's not blocking Richard Beasley, and Richard's having a look. Now, I'd say, is a limit where Overtaker can't weave down a straight, because Richard's now, maybe not just yet, actually.
Not just yet, and plus both were wide into that corner. As
That's probably going to hurt his tyres, though, more doing that, but then than anything else.
When we're off air, I'll ask something. Because it's quite stupid.
So Richard Beasley putting Overtaker under some pressure. Overtaker's faced battles tonight to get this car to where it is.
He has, haven't he? He's just...
But it is
It's
Eckhol
starting to
who is-
fade.
It is starting to fade again at the latter stages of the stint. But Eckhol has had a solid race too. A real solid race too.
He has, haven't he? Well, pole and the pole fastest lap and right so 6 minutes ago, so we can't curse him yet. We better not curse him. Commentators curse
He's
him.
got to lose about 3 seconds a lap at this rate. There's only going to be 3 laps left. So including this, probably 2 after this. Cloudon's brought the gap down 2 tenths. And these boys starting to now lap Ramey Fernie.
Yeah, and
Joe. Joe's got ahead of Gary.
Joe is flying. If only.
Yeah. He could be battling, Sky and insert coin here, around that sort of area. Don't think he's quite got Sky, Schundelmeyer and Cloudon's pace.
No, not yet, and not when it's your first race back and you probably hadn't practiced either because you've only just got the rig back out. Beasley's past Taker.
Yes. Now, how did that happen? I'm just looking back on
It's
stream
on the
next
straight.
to me.
It was on the straight.
But
and
look
he
at the gap he's already got over him. He's got a second gap.
It's Taker fuel saving. That looked like Taker switched fuel mode to a lower fuel mode.
Has he got a puncher?
I don't know. Taker doesn't.
So
I
coming
don't know
down
if
onto the
Taker's
back
streaming.
straight, Taker pulls to the left, and Beasley just catches him like a rocket. This must be actually a later lap. Yeah, no, just goes straight past him.
Yeah.
And he's now 9 tenths behind. We'll have to keep our eyes on the gap of him and Michael Harris. That is currently 1.9 seconds. Now Toth is back within 1.5 seconds of Dennis Newman. So Toth flying even with that damage at the moment to try and get back onto the rear. Joe's coming through. Oh, Joe's gone a little wide there. Right, gap. Taker's still 9 tenths behind, but still 1.9 behind. I'm not quite sure what happened to Taker there then.
No, I don't. Mr. Shift? You can't really do that on sequential. Unless your gearbox is failing in the game.
I know he had pad problems a while back, didn't he? Where he was
Yeah,
having to let
but-
go of his accelerator button and push it back down. So, was it a bit of that again?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be, and I know all full well because I'm on technically the third PS5 pad. They're not built very good. And I've got stick drift on my Xbox controller as well.
Well, let's keep our eyes out. He's just gained a tenth over Richard Beasley. Cloudon's now within a second of Dan. How Cloudon really needs this overtake.
Toff has caught up Newman again. Toff is on him.
Yeah,
Again.
he is. So this is going to be an interesting one to watch.
It will be.
At the minute, Dan Davis's drop score is 82. If it stays this way, his 55, plus he's going to get 5th, that'll be 37. So that'll put him 87. Yeah, I'll put him in the 90s again. So this round will not be his drop score. But Dan, that's what wins you a championship, is that kind of consistency. Cloudon's lowest result, 48 points at Brands. That's where Dan's got such a gap over Cloudon at the minute. Even with the drop scores, Dan's consistency has been a lot better. His lowest score is 82. Cloudon's is 78 after the drop scores. You know what I mean? That's where Dan has got the consistency over Cloudon. Cloudon gap back up to 1.5.
Yep, 2 laps to go because Eckholt's just crossed the line. That's what, a 1 minute 55 lap?
Yeah, around about
Roughly.
that. So yeah, he's got a bit more time.
I wonder if it was Taker's pad, his R2.
Yeah, it has to be
Cut out.
because he's now back within 6 tenths. Ramey needs to move out the way of Richard Beasley here. That's 2 corners.
And these two, Newman and Toff, are in front of Eckholt. And they'll be up and them as well.
And now Smoke Ramey yields the time to both of them. Overtake a little lunge to get past, but he's got past. And these two have got to make way for Eckholt coming through. And now here we go again. Now Newman defends early. Now he's fine. He's holding his line. Comes back into the middle of the road. Now, I've not said he's weaving at the moment. He's still holding that one line. But Toth is pushing him along the back straight. Toth's now going to pull to the inside. Nope, can't get it done.
Gary's in the pits.
He's gone lighter fuel. No, is he just returned to pit lane?
I don't know, but he had red bars. Like,
has he had a disconnection?
I'm just looking on the broadcast beside me.
I think Gary's had a disconnection.
I saw the P light up. He was...
Yeah, I think Gary's just had a disconnection here.
Yeah.
Because Ramey's gone past him at a point where Ramey's not even, on the pit straight. So which means Joe could get a place from Gary, who's going to have that 2-minute wait. Overtake a 7/10 behind Richard Beasley at this moment in time. But it's Toth Zaber all over the back of Dennis Newman. Michael Eckholt's about to start the final lap of this race.
He is. And they'll be getting blue flags within a corner.
Yeah, the problem is they're fighting. Will Eckholt be overly bothered? While them two are scrapping, he's got 7 seconds to play with. I think he's backed off a little bit because he looks a little further behind these two, knowing that these two are having a bit of a scrap. But I think Gary, look, because Joe's now got past him, I think Gary's had a disconnection.
Yeah, well, he started returned to pit because he started lagging or something, maybe.
Just that red bar, that to me, Gary's had a disconnect, which is a shame. Because Gary was running in a good position, but not a lot we can do. So that might be Gary Leach's drop score, because he's not going to get any positions else now. So let's take a look. Would that be Gary Leach's drop score? Yes, it would.
Right, back straight now, and there's Eckholt. Eckholt is so close to lapping these two.
I'd be backing off. He's already lost 2/10 to Beasley. I'd be backing off of this. I would not want to be following this fight at all. But here comes Newman, staying to his lane. Eckholt's now going to the outside. Oh my days, this could get nasty. This could get horrible. Eckholt's to the outside. Newman and Saber both have that inside line. Eckholt's now around the outside of Saber. He's got past Saber. And now Newman, as he got past Newman, Saber's going to try and go up the inside of Newman. Gets past Newman. They have a bit of a ding-dong. Newman's a bit slidey now. Where's Newman just disappeared to? He's now back on the track. And somehow Eckholt is through.
Did he?
I think Newman lagged a little bit there.
I do. There definitely was a little bit of lag.
Oh, and then drives into Saber.
Yeah. That's not on.
Clouden has dropped off the edge of a cliff, but either way, we're going to turn our attention back to Michael Eckholt, who's going to come to the line and is going to make it yet another win this season for the McLaren driver. That is his 2nd win this season. Great drive for him. He's got a huge gap back to Richard Beasley, who has had a great night for 2nd place. Overtaker is going to come home to take P3. Michael Harris, P4, he'll be happy with that. Dan Davis probably benefits a P5 due to Jamal Clouden's mistake for P6. Sky Schundelmeyer, what a night for him, P7 and 2nd place. Insert coin looks dead set for P8 now. And we will get a driver of the day poll up.
I think... Yeah, okay, he got disconnected before race 2, but I think Joe should have one. He's been quick, but imagine where he'd be if he didn't have that disconnect just before race 2.
Yeah, I agree. So the poll has gone up. So insert coin X. Ben will come across for P9. Ian Gray is going to take P10. Travis King will take P11.
Gary's back out on track, by the way.
Yeah, Gary's going to finish this race. That's great to see from Gary. King P11, Tobias Hoffer is going to come across for P12. Dennis Newman's crossed the line 15th. Ramey has crossed the line in P14. And then we've got Flem, who didn't take to this race due to wheel problems. Sabat, 13th place. Right, we are just going to momentarily switch across to the Discord channel because we have got an Xbox driver on the podium. So give us a few moments while we get this sorted.
I'll be there in a sec. I've got to take the pill.
Green light, show them what you got.
Oh. I don't know. Because he's gay.
Dan, I think you come on the street. If you call me gay. Right, clear. I'm going to party piano. I'm going to leave the Discord.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
You ain't got no fans.
Right, clear. I'm going to party piano. I'm going to leave the Discord.
Yeah,
La, 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 la.
Oh, what a day. And the stream. And I'm going to have to go for a shit. And you're coming with me, Tone. Not taking no for an answer, Tony. Tony!
Hello.
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 Anybody hear me?
Hello.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.